to share it. Oh yeah, do one last thing. Lift the plastic off that and just flick them all up to the top. This is probably good for right now though, because no one can hear that bit. The 4 that are the closest to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom, boom. Josh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, sound. Tell you what though, boys, this game is absolutely massive. Simon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you crapping yourself right now?
11. This is going all the way up to 11, definitely.
Josh, are you just going to enjoy this? In fact, who do you want to win as a Man United fan right now? It's like the lesser of two evils.
Probably, for the sake of football, I would say Liverpool. It's just boring seeing City win it every year. As much as I do think he's a bit of a prat, it would be nice for Klopp to win it in his last year. That sort of thing. So for football, Liverpool, but if I had to choose, I'd say I'd rather die.
What about if we throw
You'd rather die?
Would you rather Arsenal win it than either?
No, fucking hate Arsenal.
So, do you actually hate Arsenal more than Liverpool and City?
Do you know what? Liverpool, Arsenal as a team, I don't mind. I think Arteta is such a knobhead. I just think he's a prat. And the fans do mind nothing. They've had a year and a half, 18 months of playing decent football, and they think they are God's gift to the world.
Well, welcome back, Josh. Oh, I love it. Also, producer John, bring your mic to your face so you're not talking like you're Mr. Kennedy from WWE back in the day. I wish I had a camera on you sometimes just for some of this stuff. But what's your score prediction for today? Liverpool against Man City. Simon, we'll start with you, the man that this fixture means the most to.
There's always a lot of goals in this fixture, which is good for the neutral. So I'm probably going to go for another 2-2. I think, to be honest, right now I probably would take a draw, if I'm brutally honest, but I don't know.
Well, Liverpool's squad's in a much worse position than Manchester City's, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about the defence, I think, but so I would take a draw.
Josh, what are you thinking?
I think 3-2 Liverpool. I just get that feeling that it's Liverpool's year. Things just seem to be going their way at the moment.
I'm going to go the complete opposite direction. I'm going to say 3-1 to City. I think Liverpool might sneak a goal, but yeah, I think City, especially with the team that they've got right now, should do well in this fixture. And I saw something the other day where someone was going through all the fixtures between Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, and it seemed like there's been a lot more big wins for City. Like City had a couple like 4-1s, 4-0s in there.
Yeah, I think they beat us 4-1 at Anfield. That was when there was no crowd and stuff. And I think they beat us, was it 5-0 or something like that? Like, was it 18-19? It's when Mane got sent off after like 10 minutes. So I think, I think that was a 5-0. But I mean, we have done well against. So we've given them I think it was a 4-1 or a 4-2 or something like that as well, and a 3-1. So there's always goals, which is good. So it'd be good for the neutral.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's a lot of goals. Do you think this Pep Guardiola Jurgen Klopp rivalry is potentially the biggest manager rivalry in Premier League history in terms of two managers? Because you can say Wenger and Ferguson is probably the number one, but this has got to be up there. For the last few seasons, these two have been battling it out. There's been cup finals and stuff as well. It is up there.
These two are more honourable, like Wenger and Ferguson.
It's a lot more respect.
I'd say Wenger Mourinho was bigger as well. A bigger rivalry.
Benitez, Mourinho as well. That was quite tasty.
See, I forget about Benitez. Is he even managing anywhere at the minute?
Yeah, I think it's Celta Vigo, I think it is. He's back in,
in
La Liga, but they're struggling, I think. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much on him. To be fair, I ain't even entirely sure on the squads for today. Is Salah in?
Salah, he's on the bench. We've got a lot of youngsters on as well, on the bench as well. But
Darwin Núñez this season, I know he's still very wasteful, but what are your thoughts on him? Because in the last couple of games, he scored 2 absolute belters in the Europa League midweek.
Yeah. He's just on form. He's just a striker on form at the moment. He's full of confidence and everything, which is great. He'll still try, the outrageous and spoon it over the bar from 40 yards or whatever like that. But he's just settled now, and he looks fully fit as well, which is good.
Yeah, I like him. I like the attributes he has, but as I say, it's just that wastefulness that he has that kind of turns me off a little bit, because you can never fully rely on him to be 10 out of 10 every game.
Yeah.
Or even just to score probably 60% of his chances. If he does that, then he's going to be elite level, isn't he?
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. Because he's at a great team now, because Liverpool create a lot of chances. I think if he was at United, for example, he would be absolutely fucking garbage. Because we only create like 3 or 4 chances a game for a striker. When you look at the service that Højlund's had all year, I think if Núñez, the way he misses a lot of chances, was in United's squad, he probably wouldn't have scored. He might have got 1 this season. But so it'll be interesting to see what he's like under a new manager and whether it'll fit.
No, I completely agree. I think Højlund had a real hard time of it at the start at United, but he's come good as well in the last in the last 10 games, really. Is he injured at the minute?
Yeah.
But before that, he was doing well.
We scored 7 in 6 in the Prem. I'm looking forward to having him back.
City here on the edge of the box. Fast start from City. Oh, good save from Kelleher. I thought that he might have spilt that out there. Kelleher, I realised the other day he's only 25. And if you were him in this position, because obviously he's had a really strong couple of games, and whenever he's played for Liverpool in cup competitions, he's done really well.
He's been brilliant.
So do you not think that you'd look for a move away in the summer potentially?
Well, I think he was going to move away. I think in the summer, I think it was like Forest or something like that, bid like 15 million, which we obviously rejected and stuff. But I think he's one of those keepers where he's too good to be a number 2. He needs to be playing, but obviously this season, because Alisson's been injured and he's played all the Europa League games as well, so he's played like 20 games I think so far this season. So he's getting the game time now, but obviously when Alisson comes back, he'll go straight back in.
He's a weird kind of keeper. They're like, he's too good to be a number 2, but I don't think he's good enough to be like your number 1 choice goalkeeper, especially if you're going to be pushing for a title every year. Like, he's a decent keeper, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about him where he's not quite like Alisson or Ederson.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. He's still only 25, which for a goalkeeper,
he's got another good 10 years.
Is quite young. And I think, as you say, maybe he's not a top 6 level goalkeeper right now, but I think any other Premier League team would do very well to have him in the ranks, especially, as you say, maybe at like a Palace, or obviously Everton have got Pickford, but a team like at that level.
He's a Premier League keeper, definitely.
Then you kind of go, well, why would you move if you're getting 20-odd games a season? I know everyone wants to play and stuff like that, but you're at one of the best teams in the world. You're going to win trophies nearly every year. You'd probably want to start, but for me personally, you kind of...
Yeah, and you're still learning from the best goalkeeper in the world.
Why would you go from Liverpool, where you're playing 20, 25 games a season, you might get 30 with how many games teams play these days, to go to somewhere like Palace or something like that, where you're scrapping out for mid-table every year? You're not, unless you go on some historic cup run, you're not really going to win anything. I just don't really get it.
We've got Taffarel. He's our goalkeeping coach, a Brazilian keeper from like the 90s. So we've got a good setup there.
Yeah, it's just a strange one. I always think if you're a player and you're at that level, but I think, as you say, he has played enough this season where it's not actually offensive, is it?
I mean, I think next year, obviously, chance I'll be in the Champions League again, so he probably won't get those, Europa League games anymore. So I don't know. I suppose he has to make a decision, really, doesn't he? So
I could see him playing. He's Irish.
How old's Alisson? He's not that old, is he?
He's 30, coming up to 30. I think.
So he's got another 5 years left.
It's just whether he wants to go after Klopp goes. That's the only thing.
Yeah, like if Alisson was to move away to Real Madrid or Barcelona or someone like that, then you could see it happening. But another one on goalkeepers, Aaron Ramsdale yesterday had a pretty big stinker.
Did he? I didn't watch the game, I'll be honest.
Oh, well, the Brentford goal was mainly down to him. And then I saw something online after where he was celebrating the Arsenal winner, as you would, but kind of, jeering up the Brentford fans, etc. And a lot of people were saying that they've been a bit turned off to Ramsdale at this point, because he's literally been relegated twice, been dropped at Arsenal, can't really get in the England setup, but then still, whenever he plays, acts like he's like the best keeper in the world.
He just reminds me of Pickford. He's a Pickford keeper, like decent English goalkeeper, but I think they think they're better than they are. Because I don't rate Pickford and I don't really rate Ramsdale that much, to be honest, as well.
I don't mind Ramsdale and the stuff that he does. Some players are just shithouses, and I think, you don't necessarily have to think yourself as the best in the world to be a shithouse. You look at someone like Jamie Vardy. I think you'd be absolutely reaching if you were to say that Jamie Vardy had the ego to think that he was the best striker in the world. but notoriously he's just a massive shithouse.
Yeah, but he's actually good.
Yeah, no,
I don't think, I'm not saying Ramsdale's awful because I don't think he's awful, but I just think if you're getting dropped and you're not doing very well and you make a mistake which leads to the other team's goal, maybe then in the same game,
really
don't be
giving
giving
large,
it.
can you?
Because it just doesn't add up to me. I think that's your ego working against you because people are just going to take, like, even if you're an Arsenal fan, you'd be like, why is that happening? West Ham have just scored an equaliser against Burnley.
But then you kind of got to think, as a keeper, a lot of the time, you stood there on your own. If you're if you're away, so Edison will be getting it all game from the fans behind him. And especially if a keeper has a stinker that leads
Arsenal were at home, though, yesterday.
Was that the Brentford end?
Yeah, Brentford behind the goal.
So he probably was getting a lot of shit from the fans because he had a stinker. So all game, not all game, but for 45 minutes of the game, he's been hearing it behind him. You fucking shit, you fucking shit, you fucking shit. And then all of a sudden, you get a winner. You're going to turn around and give it big un because why would you not?
Yeah, that's true.
But he just seems a bit odd because didn't he give, was it him or his dad gave that weird interview like before Christmas or something like that?
Where they went on that
ADHD
podcast?
one.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Focused.
Yeah, I saw something on that, but I don't really know what happened. What was it? He just said...
Basically, he was saying that he's got like ADHD or something. So he finds it really difficult to concentrate for a full 90.
Was it him or was it his dad?
No, I'm sure it was him. I think he was dropped harshly, though. I don't think
he did anything particularly wrong.
Last year he was. I mean, he had good spells last year of playing very decent football. And plus, I don't think the keeper they've brought in is that good to kind of be like, yeah, I'm going to drop you for him.
I think they're both of a very similar level.
Like David Raya was a decent keeper for Brentford, but I think he's shown this year for Arsenal that he's not good enough to be a top six and challenging for a title kind of keeper.
What are you thinking on Arna at the minute? Because it seems like he's been in a decent run of form for the first time.
Well, you say that, but other than the stinkers he's had in the Champions League, and don't get me wrong, he had some stinkers. Like, if we're being completely honest, he's probably the reason we're not in the competition anymore.
Yeah.
But
that Copenhagen game.
I mean, nearly every game in the group stages, you could kind of go, yeah, we conceded a goal because he just had a fucking stinker here or there. So, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that. But I think overall in the league, he's actually been pretty decent. And since he's come back from AFCON, he's stepped up a lot. And to say that he's facing, fucking like 20 shots a game against everyone.
The defence at United's pretty shocking into this year, especially because of all the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, because of the injuries this year have killed us. I mean, we've had something like 11 different centre-back combinations or something like that. It's just mental. So when you're facing that many shots and he's he kept a clean sheet against Everton in a game that for periods of the game we were second best. I think he's looking all right.
He's gotten better as the season's gone on. I think he's more settled in the league now. So
I think it was always the distribution which he came in for as well, wasn't it? Really,
definitely was. I mean, even the manager said it himself. He said, we're signing him because of his ability to distribute.
Nunes nearly snuck past Bernardo Silva there. Well, not snuck, charged past. Man City have been really good for this first 10 minutes, though, aren't they?
I don't like it that we're attacking the Kop end first half. Feels wrong. I think City must have won the toss.
Yeah, they did because they swapped ends, didn't they?
Anyway, I wanted to create a Liverpool-Manchester City combined 11 for the current squads. So my thought process was if someone's injured, would still include them because obviously it's this season. And
I've gone on form.
You've gone completely on form.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, obviously I take that stuff into account as well.
Switch it around, I guess.
But should we start off with a goalkeeper?
Alisson.
Yeah, well, because I kind of went on form, so I just had like 50-50 because obviously Alisson's been injured.
Yeah, you would pick Alisson. Yeah, I think Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. I think it's pretty undoubtable. So, yeah, who have you got at right back, Simon?
Well, again, because I thought we were going on form, so I've put Walker in. But I think if everyone was fit, I'd put Trent in, definitely.
Trent over Walker?
Yeah.
See, I've picked Walker over Trent under any circumstance. Well. I think Trent's really good going forward, and obviously he has an assist in him and gets a sneaky goal every now and then. But as a right back, I think Walker's been consistently top 2 in the Premier League for about a decade now.
He's quality.
I think Trent, you have to have a system that works for Trent.
Yeah.
Whereas you could pick Walker up and drop him into any team in the world with any system, and he'll do a job at right back.
I think it's that pace that Walker's got as well. I remember when they were playing against Mbappe and he was the only one that could keep up with him and he just looks incredible.
Well, that's the thing is there are times where you watch Walker and actually defensively, like one-on-one, he's not great, but he just has that make-up speed where if he does get beat, he can recover quite easily. Whereas like when Trent gets beat, for example, he's beat.
Yeah.
Like
Trent is not a good defender.
There was a period at the start, I think it was at the start of this season, where Trent was really poor for a little while. And there was a few goals that were literally down to him just not tracking
I think teams target him now as well, which is unfortunate. So
I think
everyone
he gets
doubles.
a little bit. I think it gets blown out of proportion a little bit. I think he gets a bit more stick defensively than he probably deserves.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not like a solid lock you down right back. Like, you know, for all of his faults, he's not he's not Wan-Bissaka where you kind of go, right, one-on-one, you're just going to fucking shut him down for the game.
Yeah. Trent is good, but I also think he's more versatile. So for right back, Walker. So we've got 2 centre-backs. Simon, who have you got?
I've gone for Stones and... Diaz and Van Dijk.
Josh?
I went similar. I went Van Dijk and Stones, though.
Yeah, I went Van Dijk and Diaz. And I think it's quite hard as well because Kanate has been really good recently, but
he has been brilliant. But he's always injured. He's always got a knock.
He's not a regular player in the starting lineup. And then between Stones and Diaz, it's really hard. Part of my brain wants to pick Stones, but I think that's just because he's English bias.
I think it's similar with Stones and Diaz. It's similar because Stones will get forward, and he's playing up front in the Manchester derby pretty much, wasn't he? But I think Diaz is just a solid.
Everyone's playing up front in that game.
Diaz is just a solid, no nonsense defender, but he's got a pass on as well.
I think Stones is more versatile. He's better at more stuff to do with football than Diaz is. That's why I went. I mean, the fact that Pep Guardiola trusts him to
Liverpool in the box, put it across.
Trusts him to kind of step up into that midfield, and he's played CDM quite a bit last season, and he's doing it today. Kind of shows that he's got quality beyond just a centre back. Plus, he's a fucking quality centre back.
No, I think the thing with Stones is he is a little bit better at going forward and passing play, but Diaz isn't exactly bad at that either.
No.
So it's like as if I was picking one centre back, it would probably be Diaz, but I'm not against Stones either. I like both. Who have we got at left back?
I'd say Robertson.
Yeah, I've said Robertson.
He's the only fucking left back out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
Back.
There we go then. So what I've got here is 3 midfielders. I've gone 2 more defensive or kind of more defensive, and 1 more attacking, which is I don't know. It's kind of how I usually do these. So I've got as my 2 defensive midfielders, Rodri, and I've actually got Endo in there, which might seem like a rogue shout, but I think since he's come to Liverpool, he's been massively underrated. And what he does in the centre of the park has allowed, especially when some of these younger kids have come in, he's really shored things up, and I think he's been great.
He's been brilliant. I wouldn't put him in. I'm going for number 6, so I'd put. Who is it? Is it Diaz?
I want to hear what you have to say on this.
No, Rodri. So I put Rodri. I'd just go for 1-6 me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got Rodri and Endo as like my defensive holding midfielders. Who have you got, Josh?
I've got a City clean sweep in midfield. I've got KDB, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva.
You see, I don't have Bernardo in there at all.
I've got McAllister. McAllister is an 8. De Bruyne and McAllister, and then
Rodri is your defensive.
Behind, yeah.
So we've all got completely different midfield threes. I mean, obviously, I've got KDB as my attacking option. I'm surprised you're not tempted by Endo, though, over McAllister.
Well, no, I'm shocked you've put Endo in with all the shit that you've given Southgate as well. Oh, he's too defensive, we don't beat teams. And then you've gone for 2 CDMs.
Right, it's a bit...
The hypocrisy is crazy.
No. You see, this is completely different because we've got the best front 3 practically available in world football. So we've got Kevin De Bruyne and then 3 amazing attackers in front of him. So I can have that defensive cover there in Endo.
You wouldn't need it, though.
I mean, you might not, but anyway. Midfield done. Let's move on to the attack. Right-sided forward, there's only one option really, isn't there? It's just got to be Mo Salah. And then I think up top, again, it's got to be Haaland, hasn't it? But I think the left side is where there might be a bit of a debate. And who have you got there?
I've gone for Foden.
I've gone
Foden. Why, that was no debate. That was easy. I thought you might go for Diaz for some reason.
Well, Foden's just been massively better this season, hasn't he? So
yeah, if Foden somehow doesn't get into that starting lineup for England, then I'll be amazed.
I think he's especially because there's if it was last year, you'd probably go with Rashford just because he is a left winger. Out and out left winger.
And Rashford was on good form last year.
That's what I mean. Whereas this year, no English left wingers have really shone. Do you know what I mean? Grealish doesn't really play much. No. Rashford's had a shaky year.
Gordon's done all right for Newcastle.
Yeah, Gordon's actually been really good.
But in a competition where you're expected to win, you can't. I know he's playing under 21s, but you can't really go for somebody that's got no international senior experience. So I think for me, it's got to be Foden.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely on that left hand side. It's a shame with Rashford because sometimes when he's in form, he looks incredible, but I just wouldn't trust him starting for England.
I think he'll go.
Do you think is there a chance that Sterling gets in still, just because he's been in previous setups? I know he's had arguments with Joe Gomez, hasn't he? Which is kind of what him and Southgate fell out about originally.
Yeah, I think he's had a fallout with Southgate, and even though he's all right, he's Raheem Sterling, isn't he? He's always going to do all right. He's going to score goals in the season, but I just think now there's better players. I think at the moment Rashford's better than him, even with how poor Rashford's
I would agree
at
actually.
At times this year. I think obviously Foden's better than him.
Gordon. I'd take Gordon over Sterling.
I think Southgate will still take him.
Gordon?
Sterling.
I don't think he will because he didn't get in the last squad.
Did he not? Did he not get in the last?
There's too many options on the wing to take him, I think. Bowen's had a better season than him. Saka's had a better season than him. Foden's had a better season than him. Rashford at the moment's better than him. Cole Palmer's had a better season than him. Gordon's had a better season. So that there's 6 there.
There's a lot, yeah.
And you're not taking 6 wingers, never mind the 7th.
At that point, there should be no way that he gets in, should there? No. And I think the striker debate for England's interesting as well, because at the minute you've got Patrick Bamford who's scored 8 goals. Who? He scored 8 goals in 2024.
Get him in.
Nobody cares.
Bring back Patrick Bamford, get him into that England lineup. The fact he ever did it is such a testament to Bielsa in his unbelievable qualities and bringing the best out of players. But who have you got then? Obviously Kane is your number one. But
Watkins.
And then Liverpool, Nunes puts it across.
Yes.
Liverpool go 1-0 up, but it is offside.
He should have just hit that himself.
Should have.
Unless he was offside, obviously.
Yeah, I think it must have been Nunes that was offside because it didn't look like Diaz was.
He's onside there. Yeah, he's well off.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. He just needs to hold his run a bit more.
He's completely free as well. Good player to get it across the box, though. Even though it no longer matters, but...
Kane and Watkins are both, get them on the plane now.
Oh, yeah.
And then... You'd say Tony's a better player, but you'd be harsh to pick Tony over Solanke given the season that Solanke's had.
Yeah, but I wouldn't take either of them. I'd just take Kane and Watkins, mate.
I was going to say, but then with the amount of winger options, you'd probably just take 2 strikers. But I know he likes to take 3 strikers, so...
Liverpool pressure in Manchester City here.
Hit it first time.
Oh.
Some good attacking play for Liverpool there for the first time in this game, really. It's been Manchester City on the front foot.
Well done, Conor Bradley.
So how are you feeling with all these youngsters then, Simon? Because I think it's a tough one when a lot of new academy players come into the team. People sometimes get a little bit overexcited, and I always have the thought of it's a shame because a lot of these probably won't actually ever become fully fledged Liverpool players. They'll probably just have this stint and then disappear again.
I mean, to be honest, if you'd asked me 2 months ago or maybe 6 weeks ago, do you know these sort of players? I'd be like, no, I've not really heard of them. I mean, heard of Conor Bradley, he's played before.
Yeah.
And I think he will continue to play.
He looks really good.
He's brilliant. And the other young lads that are coming, like Bobby Clark and stuff like McConnell, have done decent, but I think they might need to go out on loan maybe next season if they want, especially if you get a new manager in kind of thing. He'll have different ideas and stuff. So I think they could do with a year in the Championship or something like that. Because that's what Bradley did last year. He was at Bolton, I think.
Oh, was it?
And he got their Player of the Year and stuff like that. So that did him the world of good. But we've got the young lad, Dan's up front, the big fella. He looks good. You can just tell he scored 2 goals against Southampton a couple of weeks ago in the Cup. And he looks a player.
Southampton aren't exactly a bad team.
No, they were brilliant, Southampton. I mean, we won 3-0, but Southampton were brilliant. But I think Bradley... Dan's and Kwanzaa at the back, he's done really well actually. The centre back,
decent.
Yeah. So I think those 3, they'll be definitely in the squad next season.
And are you impressed with how good the form has still been? I know that the performance wasn't so good against Notts Forest, but obviously we've not spoke since that massive cup victory, and I watched that and I was amazed. I think.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Chelsea weren't particularly bad throughout the game, but Liverpool managed to kind of just keep them out until it was too late, and then obviously that Van Dijk header showed a bit of quality.
I mean, I think Van Dijk was just immense. He just held everything together in that game.
Yeah, I can't lie. We did a list of top 10 centre-backs not that long ago, and I had Van Dijk in like 6th or 7th.
Yeah, no, I think I saw that. I think I saw the clip of that.
Since then, he's just been absolutely incredible. Josh, I can't wait for we've got a top 10 left wingers, but I'm saving that for a half-time debate.
6th. Van Dijk 6th.
Yeah, but it was like right now, and at that point, he'd had a couple of stinky games, and I thought, I can't put him.
Who were the 5 above him?
Yeah.
I can't. It was like Diaz, Stones. I think I put De Ligt above him. You know.
Oh no! I mean, the guy that can't even get in the Bayern squad.
Yeah, but you know, De Ligt has been good whenever I've watched him play in the Champions League, but that was for other teams, not for Bayern. That was a tough day for me now when I look back at it. Oh, yeah. But you know,
tough day for everyone.
You said I think I watched that one, but you were there because you put Matip in there, and it absolutely murdered me and Frankie.
Was that right at the start?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't put him above Van Dijk, so that's just crazy.
John Matip.
Yeah. It's quality.
To be fair, he's probably better than De Ligt. I thought De Ligt was still playing for Bayern Munich, so that proves everything about me. Oh,
yeah, he's at Bayern Munich, but he doesn't start.
Yeah, it's mad because Dyer's starting above him, isn't he?
That's crazy. That.
Yeah, if you've got Eric Dyer playing above you, then you know there's something going
wrong.
Didn't
they win like 7-1, 8-1 yesterday?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Bayern Munich are strange. I really hope that Leverkusen managed to hold on. They've not lost a game all season, still have they, in any competition. Do you think that should they continue this run? And I mean, it looks like they're going to get the Bundesliga now, but it's obviously not signed and sealed because Bayern Munich are always going to be knocking on the door. But if Xabi Alonso does that job there, Manchester City 1-0 against Liverpool. It's John Stones. John Stones with a volley from a corner. The fact that he's managed to get a volley away in the box is pretty poor from Liverpool. I want to see a replay of this one.
Well, they've worked on that, haven't they?
Diaz could never.
Josh said, yeah, rewind it.
No ball.
Well, it's a shame as well, Simon, because Liverpool had actually started to get into the game.
Well, yeah, we were having our chances and stuff. I think we'd come into the game, but yeah, it's just a bit shit, that, isn't it?
John Stones, I'm guessing it'll be a KDB assist if he took the corner. He's just unbelievable, isn't he? Let's have a look at what actually happened here.
Oh, did that go out of play?
VAR are apparently having a look at it. Maybe it did go out of play. I don't know. I'm not sure who's meant to be marking Stones there. Looks like Van Dijk and he's just watching him.
Yeah.
Nah, it looks like it stayed in from that camera angle.
Yeah, they're checking Ake because Ake was in an offside position, so they're checking whether he impeded McAllister or not.
But it's looking like it's Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. I said Liverpool 0 at Anfield. You were at Anfield not too long ago, Simon.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was in the new stand as well. Right up high, but it was brilliant. Really good. It's still not finished yet. There's still...
Is it not?
No, God, there's still loads of crap everywhere, quite frankly. But like on the concourse inside, it's like being at a festival. We've got like bands and stuff, and you know, for all the kind of food court stuff and everything. So yeah, it's brilliant.
What's the capacity going to be when it's finished?
It's 61.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would ask you what Old Trafford's like, but you've got no idea, have you?
So they can't.
I've been to Old Trafford. Yeah, it's shit all.
It's not great.
I went many years ago. Do you know my one visit to Old Trafford was for an Olympics football match when the Olympics was in the UK, and I watched Brazil against Egypt, and Neymar scored a free kick, and he was only like 21. So I think that's my claim to fame.
I saw England play there against Denmark, I think.
Saw Ronaldo hat-trick there.
An old Ronaldo or new Ronaldo?
No, new against Norwich a couple of years ago.
Shit.
So you can fuck off.
I mean, I don't think there's any need for that, mate. But should we go into another debate on this note? And it is club versus country football, because Josh absolutely went off on me about this one. But I wanted to do it on camera. I wanted to have the debate in person. So I don't really know like what the question is here, But I said previously on an episode where Liverpool are poor pass really. Diaz in the box.
Go down.
Man City defended quite well there, to be fair. Yeah, I don't really know what the question is here, but I said on a previous episode that I would rather Leeds win the FA Cup than England win the Euros.
No, you didn't.
And I also said that I'd rather Leeds qualify for the Europa League than England win the Euros. Why do you think that that's a bad take?
Because to qualify for a competition over England winning a competition is absolutely fucking baffling to me.
Don't forget that'd mean we've got promoted as well. So that's like two bonuses.
There's a lot that goes into this one, right? Because that's easy for you to say when you've literally seen your team win the biggest competition in world football.
And you've been in Europe all your life. Every season, Man United have been in Europe.
Yeah.
Leeds, last time we saw it was 2002, was it?
Which is still more recent than England winning a trophy by about 40 years.
Anyway, my other argument is, right, and I think this is an even more valid one. I'm at Ellen Road week in, week out. I've been going to games at that stadium since I was about 6 years old. I'm not going to watch England. If England get to a final, there is absolutely no chance that I'm going to be there unless I'm a multi-millionaire somehow. So I have a much stronger affiliation with the Leeds United fan base because I know I'm going to be there watching us go up. I'm going to be there watching Leeds play European teams, probably home and potentially away as well. So why would I not prefer to do that than just watch? Like, I'd be really happy if England won the Euros, don't get me wrong, but Leeds winning something is far and above elite.
I'd have somewhat agreed with you if you'd have said win, but it was the just qualify.
Well, no, but to me, just qualifying would be a win because we'd have gone from... I started watching us in League One. I've never seen us play in Europe. When I first got into football...
You've never seen England win a trophy?
Yeah, but I would rather see Leeds do well in Europe. Leeds means more to me than England.
But there's no guarantee that you'll actually do well in Europe. You could get into the Europa League and get tonked every game of the group stages and get knocked out straight away.
Yep.
So you would rather that qualify for Europa League, obviously we're talking hypotheticals here, lose every single game of that group.
How likely is that?
Well, it's likely how shit you are.
It's like would this season, would Newcastle, because what did they didn't qualify at the group stage, did they?
No, but would
they have preferred that, or would they have preferred?
I think, right. Maybe this is one for a shot. Newcastle fans would likely prefer to have been in the Champions League this season and have all that experience of that playing some of the biggest teams in the world at St James's Park than England to win the Euros. And I think Newcastle fans would agree with that. And I think any fans of a club like Leeds, maybe not Villa now because they've done it, but previously Villa and clubs of that stature where maybe they used to be big and they've heard about the days at Ellen Road or at Villa Park where there was European nights there. I've never seen that, and I want to see that much more than I want to see England do well.
Yeah. It depends on which club you support. You know, if you're like the Tranmere Rovers, would you rather England won the Euros or would you want to get promoted? They'd choose promotion, wouldn't they?
100%. I don't know why you think it's... I actually don't get you.
I think...
Because your argument is, well, I've not seen Leeds play in Europe. You haven't seen England win a trophy. I was born in 99.
Yeah.
We hadn't won a trophy for 33 years before I was even born.
Yeah, but...
And then I've now lived for 25 years and we've still not won a trophy.
No, and I want to see England win a trophy, though. I'm allowed to want both.
Yeah, but you've said your preference and your preference is wrong. And I'm telling you why you're wrong.
No, but why would you... Right, so would you rather England win the Euros or Man United win the Champions League and the Premier League next season? Really?
Yes.
Because that's a similar thing. Like, because you've already seen them win the Premier League and the Champions League in your life, it's not like a new thing. So I'm thinking it's got to be combined for it to be unbelievable.
I would rather England win the Euros than Man U... So, no, let me rephrase that. I would happily not be in a Champions League for the next 5 years if England won the Euros.
Would you quite happily say Man United aren't going to win another thing for the next 25 years for England to win Euros?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, you
that's madness.
So you'd say Man United...
I'm not qualified for Europe either for 25 years.
I've got where I think the actual question stems from. So, would you rather England win the Euros, yeah, But if they do, that means Man United get relegated to League One and it takes them 20 years to get back to the Premier League, and then they're still not going to get European football.
If it was a World Cup, I'd say, yeah.
No, so it's...
Go on.
Yeah, but that's not the conversation, though. You said you would rather Leeds qualify for Europa League than England win the Euros. So to say, oh, well, you know, give me all of this different stuff.
No, but I'm trying to compare it in a different way because obviously Leeds haven't won anything in so long. So
as a Liverpool fan, I would rather Liverpool win the League Cup than England win the Euros or the World Cup. I'm happily...
I completely agree. I'd rather Leeds win the League Cup.
I'm more invested in Liverpool football club than England. As Liverpool fans, as a fan base, we don't really care about England that much because it's not really an English city. It's more of an Irish city. So if you're invested in the club, it's true though, isn't it? You know, you think of all the abuse we get as Liverpool fans for not, you know, singing a national anthem and all that kind of stuff. Why on earth would we want to, you know, support England? I mean, if Trent was playing for England, I'd want them to win because I want Trent to do well. But I don't, you know, when it was like Beckham and Neville and Ferdinand, I didn't want them to even if Gerrard was playing, I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
just
but
don't care.
That was different. There's a vibe about the team at the moment. This current crop of English players, this current English team, there's a vibe about it. There's a vibe that goes around the country. Like that Euros, the last Euros, there was a vibe up and down the country that was unmatched.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not denying that.
I felt Leeds was more, as a city, was more buzzing during that Euros run, even though we didn't win it, than when Leeds won the Championship.
Guarantee Liverpool wasn't like that. Liverpool City
but you had the
like
misfortune Leeds won Championship during COVID. And you weren't meant
Yeah,
to
that is
be
true.
league now, so-
Also,
There was still that massive party down in City Centre.
I'm not just saying this to be offensive, right? I actually think the reason that you view it differently is because, to me anyway, is because you don't go to the games. I think if you went to 10 Man United games a year, you'd view it differently because you'd be part of that community more and part of like being there every week and part of that atmosphere. Whereas for you, going and watching an England game in the pub is probably a similar level to going and watching a United game in the pub because it's both just with your lads that some of them support the same team. You're going to have banter about it. It's football. But because I'm at Ellen Road, it means like I know all the people that sat around me. I've had a season ticket in the same place for 4 years. It's like a little group of people I wouldn't know outside of football. Whoa. And it means that Leeds doing well just always is going to take a much better level than England doing well. Like I said in the I'd rather Leeds win any silverware. I'd rather Leeds win the FA Cup or the League Cup than England win the World Cup.
It's all about, but it's all about in how much you invest in the international game or your club game. I mean, I don't really care about international football. I don't think it's the pinnacle of football. I think Champions League is. So,
I think, like you said before, it all depends on what team you support. If you support a team that's had success quite regularly, then I'm not saying you take it for granted, but it's more expected, isn't it? Because if you're at a team, if it were like Luton or any of these other teams, and they suddenly win something, it's like amazing, isn't it? It's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's like the lower league. Like you suppose the lower league teams, like say like Millwall or Rotherham, whoever. Them watching England is kind of equates to Liverpool, Man U watching in Europe kind of thing, isn't it?
Not you, sorry, John. What you've just said completely counteracts what so many Leeds fans say. Leeds fans bang on about how big of a club Leeds United is.
They are.
Yeah, but then you're just comparing yourself to Luton.
No, I said if you support any smaller team, other than a team that in the last, as Chelsea and Arsenal, a Liverpool, a Man City, a Man United, who've always regularly won silverware for the last 30 years, if you support someone else, then I'd expect most of their fans to say they'd rather them win something than England win something. Because you're just so unused to it, aren't you?
Well, I mean, it's like with Liverpool, we're winning trophies at the moment, but I would still rather win a trophy than England win a trophy in a heartbeat.
I don't think it's a bad take, and I think most people agree with they'd rather the club win something than England win something, or even the club just be successful. I really don't see it being a bad take at all. And I think you get so emotional about it that you feel like, I'm not saying I don't want England to win. I'm still really excited and want England to win, but it's just there's just different levels to it.
I think there might be a north-south divide as well. I think southern clubs will probably lean towards more England.
Yeah, because they can actually go to games as well.
Well, because it's Wembley and it's all in the south and the southeast, isn't it?
Yeah, if England played half the games up north, then I might.
At the new Old Trafford.
Yeah.
It was a There needs to be a new Old Trafford. But yeah, if I was a England regular, I think it'd be a little bit different, because I know, for example, I know some people at work or whatever that are football fans, and they go to the England games and actually go travel to other countries and stuff. Then I would probably be just as invested. And when it is the Euros, I am very invested, or the World Cup, etc. But until that point, give me Leeds. I'd take Leeds getting promoted over England winning the Euros.
Fucking crazy.
Well, I would rather Liverpool win this game than England winning the Euros. That's just...
God.
But surely, you're a Man United fan, surely you're invested day to day, 24/7.
I love United, 100% I am, but like I said, there's just something about England. Like, we haven't won anything since 1966. That is fucking mental.
It's because they weren't good enough.
Yeah, but now we're in a position where we could, realistically, we could actually go and do...
Yeah, we could.
I think England are favourites for the Euros.
We could go and do an international double. Never mind the Euros. We could go and win the Euros, and in 2 years' time for the next World Cup, we could go into that as favourites. And with how young and how good the team is, we could even do what Spain did and win an international treble.
Yeah.
We're in that position now.
I just don't know with Southgate. I just don't think.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think
probably not going to get past this.
I don't think we'll do that with Southgate, but I know what you mean in terms of the squad is good enough and especially young enough for that to be a possibility.
If you'd have asked me during that grey period of England where we had I know we had some decent players, but when it was like Chamberlain, Walcott, we had Jagielka and
Mikhail Antonio got into the squad,
and all of those lads, I'd kind of be like, do you know what? I'm not really that bothered about this team. Yeah, I'd rather see Man U do well, but there's something about the team at the moment, and I feel a genuine. For the first time in my life as a football fan, I feel a genuine attachment to the English football team. Like when we had that golden generation before, like Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, Beckham, everyone. Like you could tell, they were playing together because they were playing for England, but actually nobody really liked each other. Nobody really wanted to be there, other than the fact that everyone wanted to get more caps for England. But actually now, you can tell all the lads get along. They all want to be there.
It's like a club, isn't it now?
And yet, the
go on,
Go on.
Liverpool in the box. Harvey Elliott.
The addition of social media helps, but stuff like when they're away in Lions Den, watching them just makes you feel like you're part of the camp and that sort of stuff.
But my question is then, why are you not more invested in Man United when there's there's way more games a season, you're in more competitions that you should be invested in and wanting you to win, in comparison to England, where there's probably every couple of years you have 20 meaningful games, if that, probably 10, 15 meaningful games. So how does that equate to more joy in your brain than watching Man United do well over a period of games that's more?
Because then
maybe it's also because Man United's setup has been shit in the last few years, and as much as you might not want to admit it, you want the team to do well, but you probably don't want the owners to get richer and the people around the club you actually dislike. So it's maybe not the same connection.
Yeah, maybe, falling out of love.
At the same time, I think, we've been poor this season, but you go, oh well, there's next season. If you don't win the Euros, it's another 2 years before you've got a chance at winning something. Do you know what I mean? We've been lucky because of COVID. It pushed everything back where we had a Euros, then the next year we had the World Cup, and then the next year we had the Euros again. After this Euros, we're back to kind of, fucking hell, it's 2 years before we can go again. Fucking hell, it's 2
But that's why I'm not as invested. But this is exactly my point.
But that's why I am, because it's like this team that we've got now, we've got for probably 2 more tournaments. The core with Kane. Kane's probably not going to get past the next World Cup. Stones probably won't get through the Euros, as in next World Cup he probably won't be around. Walker, again, maybe he'll be there, but he won't be starting. Who's going to be the keeper for the next World Cup? So this team that we've got now is kind of, the lifespan's not there, really. You've got your young players like Saka, Foden,
Bellingham.
Bellingham's coming through.
And I think there is Colwell and stuff. We have good replacements that are kind of ready.
We have great young players that are looking to start stepping up and that sort of stuff. But the team that we've got at the moment and being favourites, and I don't know. I just think because we don't play every year, you have a shit season, So United, by all standards this year, have been pants. Yeah, we're still in the FA Cup, but we've got Liverpool next round, so I don't imagine us getting past that. You know, we're going to struggle to get top 4 this year. It's a shit season for United, but I'm like, do you know what? Summer, make a few signings. Things are looking good in the club. We go again next year.
Yeah, there's always that hope, isn't there? The next
there's always, realistically, when the season ends, it's what, 3-4 months, and then the next season starts. The Euros, we got knocked out of the World Cup against France, and I'm like, fucking hell, we actually don't play
in another shot from the edge of the box.
Another World Cup for 4 years.
Yeah, but you've actually just...
One thing you just said then is your different attitude to like a Leeds fan. You just said, we'll buy another couple of players, things are looking good, we'll go again. Whereas a Leeds attitude is, if we don't get promoted, 5 of our best players have gone, we're fucked. That's it. We don't go again next season because we lose all those best players.
Yeah, but you do though. Like, no, I get what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying. But after that 3 months, say you don't get promoted this year, say you fall into the playoffs, you lose in the final or whatever, and you don't get promoted, and it's a stinker, and Somerville leaves, Nonto leaves, and a few other lads leave. Archie Gray leaves, and you think, fucking hell, this is shit as shit. As soon as that first game of the season starts, Leeds fans are buzzing again.
Oh, yeah, they are.
You're all buzzing again, you're ready to go.
We ain't going again, we're not going to push again, that's it.
No, but this is, you actually have just completely lent into my point of, this is why I'm more passionate about Leeds doing well, because it's more regular and it's more personal.
More invested.
Because it's happening every year, and I'm looking at the transfers in the club, I'm thinking about the manager, I'm thinking about the ownership, I'm thinking about this and that. Like England, to be honest, like the squad half the time isn't what it should be. The manager's shit. We've not done all in forever, and I'll enjoy it when it's on. I do. I really do like England. I do enjoy international football in general. I watched so many games in the last World Cup, but it's just a case of maybe I've fallen out of love a little bit with the setup of international football.
Yeah, I have.
With the Qatar and Russia World Cups, and then there's another one in Saudi in however long, and I just think it's money laundering. It's shit and it's sports washing. And I want England to do well, but I don't have an affiliation with them. There's no Leeds players playing for England. There's no chance of a Leeds player playing for England.
Come on, Wales.
Even United, with how crap they are, will still have Maguire will get in the squad. Rashford will potentially get in the squad. I mean, that's probably about it right about now. But there's still other players in and around United. Who did I forget?
Kobe Manu.
Yeah, he might, but he probably should, to be honest. But this is what I mean. So there's more there for you. And when you say, we'll go again next season, cool. When I say I'd rather Leeds, that's like maybe not the Europa League one, although I do still fully back that statement. But when I say I'd rather Leeds win the League Cup, Leeds haven't won any silverware in like 2 decades, mate. That's why if we...
the Championship?
3 decades.
Yeah, but the Championship's the Championship.
But still silver. You said any silverware.
You know what I meant.
You said any silverware. That is silverware.
You don't have to be... The Championship is a good league. You know what I mean, though, where we're playing all the best teams in England. The League Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League. They're the elite level competitions, really. But this is why I say Leeds winning that, because we've not won anything in so long, that would mean so much more to me than England winning something. So much more.
I don't know.
Well, like I say, Liverpool, we're winning stuff, but I would still... take a League Cup over a World Cup or a Euros in a heartbeat.
I can just see Josh's seething.
Heartbeat.
The thing is, though, as well...
But, to your point about, my new player, genuinely, I would go into next Euros, if it meant England winning the Euros, I'd say, right, don't pick a Man U player.
Well, no, of course you would, but then that's not the setup.
I'm not bothered. It could be 11, the whole 11 could be Man United, or there could be no Man United players in the team. When I'm watching the Euros or the World Cup, for me they're just England players. Like Foden isn't a City player, Saka isn't an Arsenal player, Kane isn't a Bayern or Tottenham player when he was there. It's just they're all just England players.
No, but I think it's easy for you to say that, especially when you were growing up watching England as a kid. You had half the squad was United, so it's easy for you to be like, oh well, I'm not bothered if they get in the team now. But that's what you've always had, and that's probably why you've now got a stronger connection to England, because you've seen Rooney bagging, you've seen Ferdinand playing every game. You can name Gary Neville, any English player at Man United was in that squad. So now it's easy for you to go, oh, I'm not that bothered. But you've seen it your whole life. Man City. Oh.
Got a gamble there.
We need half-time now, quickly.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I like the scarcity of it. That's why I want England to do well, because And when I said we go again next year, I didn't necessarily mean like next year we could go out and spend 350 million in the summer, buy half a new squad, and we're still not going to win the league next year.
Yeah,
if, say, for example, we get in the Champions League, we manage to get lucky, Villa and Spurs fall off, and we manage to have a good run in, and we get in the Champions League, we get top 4. We're not going to win the Champions League next year. Maybe we'd sneak a League Cup or an FA Cup if we can get decent runs. But do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we are gonna, but.
No, but for you, saying maybe we'll get in.
Liverpool in the box.
Go on.
I'm speaking purely hypotheticals. Like, I don't think we will. Like, there was a point in the year where I thought, do you know what? Maybe we'll get top 4.
But for you to say maybe we'll get into Europe, maybe we'll sneak a League Cup. They're like things we dream about, and you're like, oh, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But that's like a dream for a Leeds United fan to even get that far.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this argument goes across football as well, right? And we've said it before about the Glazers and stuff. I think it's really easy for fans of clubs who have been really good for years, or at least in and around Europe and winning the odd competition every now and then, to be a bit pissed off with what they've got. But it's actually what I don't think people realise how tough it is sometimes. Leeds were in the Championship for 10 fucking years. We didn't win anything. We didn't ever really have a proper chance of going up. We were just fucking mid-table Championship. And I think until you've... And League One before that. But at least we won League One, came second and came up, so that was a bit of glory. But I think until you've experienced something like that, it's impossible to differentiate it, to debate it in many ways, because it's like you've experienced the highs. And to be honest, I am quite surprised that Simon has said he'd rather Liverpool win a League Cup, but I get it because...
Well, I just think as a Liverpool fan and, a fan base from that city, it's not an English city, and we've been done over by the English government for decades and decades. Historically, we just hate it. Well, we don't hate England. We don't hate England. We've just always been shat on by England, quite frankly.
Like you just said, I think the problem is the lows for us is going to League One minus 15 points, all that shit. And the lows for Man United is we might not qualify for Champions League. And you're thinking, bit of a difference, isn't there? Until you've been through it and put up with that shit. Hey, it's his own fault for the owners who did what they did, but you have to have lived it to realise how bad it is down there. Then you realise how good it is once you get back up again and what it means to you.
Yeah, I don't dispute that. Like, if I'd have been through that, I'd be like buzzing that United are back in the Prem, this, that, and the other, 100%. But I don't know. I mean, it's not exactly like United has been fucking rainbows and sunshine for the last, fucking since Fergie left. You know what I mean?
We'd swap you your last 10 years for ours, though.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not, it's been 10 years since we won the league, even longer since we won the Champions League. I know, again, it's different. You guys have played in League One, this, that, and the other. But it's not as if United are winning every year and we're doing stuff. We've got to sit and watch our fucking city rivals literally dominate football as we are just consistently mediocre, consistently spend stupid amounts of money on players that consistently don't work out.
Yeah, but if you won the league, though, surely that would put you back up there, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%. I'd be buzzing.
Would you not prefer that than England winning the Euros?
No, because I'd rather see England win.
It's wild to me.
I think
don't get
for
it.
me personally, I think it's the England fan base, the England brigade, the Millwall, the West Hams, those. I don't want to see them happy. I don't want to see them happy.
I mean, that's pretty valid.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, jog on. So.
Yeah, fair. But lads, I think we've spoken enough about this.
It's a good one. That good one.
No, it's
we've all got different opinions. Right or wrong.
It's an interesting question.
Be interesting to see if any other Liverpool fans would prefer England to win than Liverpool.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how people would take it.
I know I don't get the Liverpool stuff, but I understand, if that makes sense. Like, I get that Liverpool fans historically don't like England, so they don't really want England to do well.
I don't think it's they don't like England. I think we've just been treated like shit by the government and the fans and stuff.
But what I'm saying is, I know that historically Liverpool are, they're Scouse, not English.
It's an Irish city.
So
more European.
Historically, I get that, but I don't necessarily understand it. But then again, I don't know the history of it.
Yeah,
so.
Talking of the big six, because Liverpool have obviously won stuff recently, Man United have. I'd love to hear from Tottenham fans and say, would you rather England win or would you rather Tottenham win Premier League? Because it's been that long for them. I'd love to know how many Tottenham fans would rather Tottenham win Premier League.
I think 99% of Tottenham fans would rather them win any trophy than England win anything. Because if you're a Tottenham fan, you just get ridiculed. That's all you get because you've been in and around the top four for 10, 15 years and you've won nothing. You wouldn't if you're a Tottenham fan because that's all you hear.
And Man U fans don't get absolutely fucking blasted.
You've seen it happen. They had... When the last time they won league, 1961. It's like, what the fuck? It's
Tottenham can't even buy a fucking FA Cup or a League Cup. You lot in the last decade have still won an FA Cup, a League Cup, a Europa League. It's not even it was over a decade now. The last Premier League won it, but even that's in the last 15 years. So yeah, I think a Tottenham fan would definitely take any trophy over any England trophy. And if I'm wrong, then
Arsenal
I'm wrong.
fans, would they rather win the league? I reckon
they're used to winning stuff, though, aren't they?
But I reckon they'd prefer the league.
Yeah, Arsenal fans would.
And I reckon the Champions League definitely they'd prefer that.
So would you right? This is my final bit on this because it's hyped me up again. Genuinely, right? I say to you, next season, Man United are going to win the Premier League. They're going to win the Champions League, which means you've in the Champions League again next season. You can attract some more big players. You've got more money. Or England win the Euros this summer. What would you pick?
England win the Euros this summer.
Would you rather your 99 treble be taken away and England have another World Cup?
Yeah.
Well,
for me to witness us winning the World Cup. Like, you get another World Cup in fucking 1970. I'm like, well, I'm not.
Yeah, but you didn't witness the treble either, so it's quite an unfair.
Yes, but then why would I give something up that I didn't witness that for something else that I've already not wasted? For me to witness England to win the World Cup.
Or Man United win a treble.
I'd rather.
Like you said us. The us to me is Leeds more than England. That's what it comes down to, isn't it? Yeah. When you say us to win, when us Leeds comes first, England comes second for us.
Yeah. Anyway, Simon, what was your thoughts on that first half there, Man City against Liverpool?
I thought we had a spell of 10, 15 minutes where we seemed all right, but then they scored the goal and it kind of flattened the place. So I think we were lucky to get in half-time 1-0. Because they looked like they were going to score again. So.
Yeah, there was that last chance there where it was a pretty poor cross from Walker. Should have done a bit better.
Yeah, so I think, I think we've still got Salah to come on. So hopefully he'll come on in the second half. Maybe for Elliott, because even though I love Elliott, but he's just got no pace. So get Salah on second half, I think.
Yeah, I think if Salah comes on, it could make a big difference because it's just that last little bit of quality that Liverpool have been missing so far. There's been a couple half chances, but nothing too massive. Should we jump into the top 10 for this episode? And it is the top 10 left wingers or left mids, because it's practically the same position in the world right now. And I think in comparison to the other lists, this was quite an easy one to put together. So we'll see how it goes.
I think that it was easier to build the top, I think, kind of once you were getting...
Yeah, then it was like researching.
Kind of searching around for the...
But anyway, number one, we've all got the same man, and it's Vinicius Jr., surely.
I've gone Mbappe.
I've gone Mbappe.
I didn't know Mbappe was still classed as a left winger. I thought he was playing up top this year.
Well, no, it's left.
So you stink.
Well, no, all right.
So that means Mbappe's not on his list.
Yeah, Mbappe's not on my list. I had him playing up top, and I've got another man where it was maybe he plays as a striker. I should have thought of Mbappe, but I've got Vinicius Jr. first. I won't argue that he's better than Mbappe because I don't think he is, but I think he actually plays on the left all the time.
Yeah, so. Vinny Jr. is my second, but I've got Mbappe.
Yeah, he's my second as well.
Do you think that Mbappe is top 3 players in the world right now still?
Yeah.
Undoubtedly?
Yeah.
Name me 3 players better than him.
Right now. I'm just saying, I think like there's
that's my argument is that name me 3 players better than Mbappe right now.
I think it's quite close, you know. When you put Salah, Haaland, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham. It is actually...
Mbappe's ahead of them, I think.
I think my only thing... Well, I know he's done it for France, but when you're playing in the French league, I just can't take you that seriously.
Well, yeah, that's true. He's doing it in the Champions League, though, isn't he?
No, I'm not saying... This is what I mean. I'm not even really... I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I just think if... He needs to do it in a better league.
He will. Yeah, I mean, he's going to Madrid next.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed.
So we'll see.
I think to be honest, I think he's the best player in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
Number one.
Yeah, now that Messi's kind of drifted off to America, Ronaldo's drifted off to Saudi, I think Mbappe is the best in the world now.
Yeah, I think that it's just not quite to the same difference as that Messi Ronaldo was. Maybe that's why I view it a bit differently, because when Messi and Ronaldo were at the peak, they were just so much higher than every other player. Whereas I don't think Mbappe, like, he's higher, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not miles ahead, is he? No.
Yeah, and you've both got Vinicius Jr. second.
Second, yeah.
I've got Rafael Leao second. at AC Milan. He's been killing it for a couple of seasons now, and he's still really young as well. I think he's a great player whenever I've seen him play in the Champions League. Obviously, I'm not a weekly regular of the Serie A, but who have you got third?
I got Foden.
I've got Foden.
Yeah.
Foden. Do you know, this is the one where I think I might get cooked a bit because I didn't have Mbappe, but I've got this man who I know has played as a striker this season, but I've got Son.
He's further down for me.
I think that's a bit high.
I just think he's been so good for so many years. I know he had Kane there previously, but literally for about 5...
He's still quality.
This season he's done pretty well, and pretty much last season maybe was a little bit off, but he's been so good for Tottenham over the course.
He's quality. He's in my top 10, but I think 3's a touch high.
I think you lot have got some that I don't have in there though. That's the difference because I don't I didn't know he was a left winger. I swear he's not a left winger.
Pretty much all his career.
Yeah, but not now. He plays as a striker, doesn't he?
It's just kind of fluid across the front.
Yeah, he can play anywhere. He's that good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, third, fourth then, lads.
I've got Leao at 4.
Okay.
I've gone for Grimaldo at Bayer Leverkusen. He's technically a left wing back, but
right.
He's got like 20 goals and assists this season.
Oh, that's it.
Bayer Leverkusen.
He's quality. I didn't put him in because I see him more as a left back, but I heard a shout.
Do you know I didn't know that he'd done that well.
Oh yeah,
their fullbacks have been unreal.
They play like really high up. Really, like I don't know who's on the right for them, but they're just getting.
Didn't he used to be at Benfica or something like that Grimaldo? I don't know if I've imagined that because of FIFA. Yeah. Anyway, at number 4,
God, who have you got?
I've got Gordon.
Jesus Christ. He's way down my list.
I think right now, this season, he's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anthony fucking Gordon.
Yeah, the thing is as well.
4th best left winger in the world.
So, you can say that, but I didn't include Mbappe and Foden because I didn't class them as left wingers. So, obviously, that would make him 6th.
What are they, goalkeepers? What are they?
Oh my fucking God. No, I want to hear the rest of your list before I say anything else. I just want to hear who you've said is not as good as Anthony Gordon.
I'm saying right now as well, by the way.
Right now, Gordon's not that good. Right.
Yeah, I mean, this season.
We'll move on. We'll move on.
Number 5, who have you got, lads?
I've gone for Martinelli.
Josh?
That's high. I've gone Son.
I mean, I won't argue with that because obviously Son's already been on my list. I've also got Martinelli at number 5.
So you think Anthony Gordon's better than Martinelli?
This season, yeah. Especially when Anthony Gordon's playing in a worse team. Martinelli's really good.
I think in the last few weeks, Martinelli, because they've just scoring 5 or 6 every game, aren't they? So I suppose right now, Martinelli's...
I just think, Newcastle have been quite off form this season. Gordon's looked good whenever I've seen him play. He's still really young, and his stats this season have been incredible.
He'll be up there for Young Player of the Year, definitely. But.
Yeah, and Martinelli's a little bit older, but... I don't know. He's just not done quite as well this season as he did last year. Still done great, but
I think since the new year, Martinelli's been brilliant.
Right, who have we got at number 6?
I've got Musiala for Bayern Munich.
Is he a winger as well? This is the problem with these ones.
Because when I did this last night, I looked on obviously the position, and he plays on the left at the moment. I think Sane's on the right for Bayern Munich.
I mean, I take it because I had Musiala in my attacking mids list.
I have Musiala more as a cam, to be honest. Number 6 for me is Luis Diaz.
He's further down for me.
I think mad overrated.
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
I think he has decent stats and he's on the ball sometimes.
He's tricky.
He's really good. But I also think sometimes he does way too much for no reason. And he could just put a simple
pass in. His end product isn't... He doesn't get enough goals.
Diaz, I don't think I've even got him on my list. Nah. Don't make it. Number 6, I've got a man I can't even pronounce his name. A Napoli winger called...
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia.
He was brilliant last season when they won it.
He's been a bit,
last year he was brilliant. This year you say he's been a bit, but he's had 10 goals and 5 or 6 in 26 appearances, which is pretty good.
Still good.
In a Napoli team that's not doing quite as well as it was in the previous few seasons.
He's still at 20, 21, and he's really young.
Last season he got 12 goals, 13 assists. Yeah. So I think he deserves a spot on the list. I don't think 6th is a mad take. Are we on to 7th?
So I had Son as 7.
Okay.
That's low.
I do think that is quite low, to be honest. If we're classing him as a winger, then I think he has to be.
I'm going on form, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think Son...
Scored and got 2 assists today.
I did this yesterday.
Nah.
You went, actually. Josh, who have you got 7?
Rashford.
Are you having a laugh?
No, I've got Rashford.
Oh my God, mate. I know, right. You laughed at me for Gordon, and then you've got Rashford in your top 10 wingers in the world right now. How is he top 10 in the world right now?
Whoa. So we'll use your logic against you, right? So Gordon, would you say Gordon last year? Would you have put him in the list last year?
No.
So he's had, what, 3/4 of a season where he's been good, and now he's the 4th best left winger.
Yeah, but he was...
Rashford's having one season... You know, compared to last season, did happen. Like, he did score 30 goals in a season. So, like, it did happen. So, he is a quality left winger. Like, yeah, he's not been fantastic this year, but he's still a top 10 left winger in the world.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not. The problem with Rashford is he had a good season last season, and we see him go like this his whole career. He goes up and down. He's not consistent at all. Gordon, last season wasn't good. He was just settling in after leaving his boyhood club, getting a big money move. He was settling into a new club. This season, he's done really well. It's you can't compare it in that way. If Man United just signed Rashford last season, then you could make that comparison, but they obviously didn't. So it's completely different. I'm in shock that you've got Rashford on there.
Yeah, he's not in my top 10.
Mental, absolutely mental.
Right now, Rashford is not in the top 10 left wingers in the world.
Yes, he is.
No way.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
If you had one game, say you were playing a Champions League final, and he was guaranteed, like whoever you picked was guaranteed to have their best game, Rashford would be.
Yeah, but we're not. Obviously, it's not based on their best game. It's based on how they perform throughout a season. And throughout this season, Rashford's been poor. He looks lazy. He's had disciplinary issues as well. There's been all sorts going on with him. You wouldn't have. I mean, I'm not bringing that into how he actually plays, but that isn't great either. So I don't think. Right now, if it was the Champions League final and you said to me, who do you want to start, Gordon or Rashford, I'd pick Gordon.
Yeah, I would as well.
I fully would.
This is just fucking mind-blowing to me.
Anyway, my number 7, and Simon, you'll be able to tell me if he actually does play on the left a lot, because my research indicated he does, and it's Jota.
Yeah, but yeah.
I wouldn't class him as a left winger.
But when he played
around the top three,
he can play across the front three. When he played before he got injured, he was playing down the middle.
Right.
Yeah, that's where he was getting his goals. Like but he can play, and he can play anywhere.
It said when I looked online,
he's one of, for me. Jota would never show up in one of my top 10 lists because for me he's kind of positionless. Yeah. Like he can play on the right, he can play through the middle, he can play on the left, he can play 10. Like if we were doing like a top 10 left wingers or right wingers or strikers or cams, Jota would never show up for me for the simple reason that even though he's quality, he's just positionless to me.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not, again, I wasn't sure what position,
quality,
but I think he's just great, and I think he doesn't get many shouts because he's not a consistent starter at Liverpool. Yeah. But whenever he does play, he bags and he gets assists.
I don't dispute the shout. I think he's quality, but like I said, I just think he's positionless, so that's why I don't include him.
And who have you got at number 8, Simon?
I've gone for Luis Diaz, 8.
Right. I don't think he should be in there at all, to be honest. But
I've got Martinelli.
So you're saying Martinelli's worse than Rashford now?
I think Rashford is better than Martinelli, yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
There is no way you actually believe that.
I mean, Rashford scored that great goal last week, didn't he? But Martinelli's just
better. I think Rashford's better.
Better player.
I'm actually speechless. There's no, for the last 3 seasons, I mean, Rashford got some goals last year, but so did Martinelli. There's no way that Rashford should be above him.
He's better than Martinelli.
He's definitely not, but we'll move on. Number 8, I've got Nico Williams at Bilbao. He's 21. He's had 3 goals and 7 assists this season.
Good player.
Yeah, I didn't include him because I've not watched him, so it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want to make it like all Premier League, so I thought I'd have a look at some of the international leagues. And who have you got at number 9, Simon?
I've got Di Marco from Inter. Again, he's more like similar to Grimaldo, like a wing back. But he's on the left and he's getting goals and assists. And they're flying as well into Milan, aren't they? So
I respect it.
I got Leroy Sané.
I was going to include him, but he
was in my right wingers list.
Yeah, I think he's been playing right wing, but again, he's one of those that has played on the left.
I did have a look, and he's actually played like nearly 100 games more on the left wing than he has.
Yeah, I know at City he was on the left 24/7 when he never played on the right. No, I'm not.
He would have been in my top 10 if he'd I've seen him play on the left recently.
Number 9, I have Neymar. I know he's crocked at the minute.
Who's he playing for now? Who's he playing for now?
No, you didn't say that. I know for a fact you didn't say that because I'd like to rewind the tape to when we did the top 10 strikers in the world, and I said Benzema and Ronaldo. You said I could never include somebody that plays in the Saudi Shawarma League, that plays in the Farmers League.
I never said the Shawarma bit.
You said you could not include somebody top 10 in the world that plays.
Penalty. That is a penalty
for Liverpool.
Get in. Send him off.
So I want to call you out on your fucking hypocrisy here.
Right, you can do it. You can do it, right? But there's less options for this list.
I don't give a flying
There are
fuck.
far less options.
Is he playing in Saudi Arabia?
He was at Al Hilal. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was there.
Hasn't he had his contract terminated?
Yeah, he doesn't have a club at all right now.
So-
but no, it's because he got crocked. So the
Well, could I
terminated his
include John
contract.
Barnes then? Because he doesn't have a club.
Oh yeah, I might put Giggsy in there as well.
get Giggsy
Actually,
in,
yeah. Yeah, he's
Stanley
not got a
Matthews.
club.
No, but hear me out. Neymar, right, in comparison to Messi and Ronaldo, Neymar's only 32 still. He was the best player for Brazil.
But that just says everything about Neymar. He just doesn't care about football. He'd rather.
No, he doesn't, but he's unbelievable. Wherever he's played, whenever he's
Plays
been.
for Saudi. Plays for Saudi. Not hearing it.
Saudi Arabia.
Not hearing it.
So you're telling me Neymar isn't top 10 left wingers in the world right now then?
Yes.
If he was fit and playing, you don't think he'd be top 10?
I'm not hearing it, mate. Not hearing it. After the bollocks that you gave me for putting Benzema and Ronaldo in.
No, it's different though, because Benzema's
not
like
hearing
38 and Ronaldo's like
I'm
38.
not hearing it. Not hearing it. But that wasn't your argument. Your argument wasn't age. It was, well, they play in Saudi. They play in the Farmers League. They play against.
Then I do kind of
They
agree
play
with that
against
point
players
still.
that aren't even professionals. That was your point. That was your argument against me for putting Benzema and Ronaldo in. And now all of a sudden you've chucked a free agent Neymar in there.
All right, anyway.
The guy's probably played about 4 games this season before he got injured as well.
Yeah, but he's still quality. And whenever he's played internationally, he's been the best player for Brazil.
So you're saying to me, yeah, Rashford doesn't get in the top 10 because he's not been great this year, even though he's played, and his stats are very similar to Martinelli as well, by the way, because I had a look. But then Neymar, who's played a handful of games, been injured all season, but yet he still gets into the top 10. Your argument's flawed there,
Right.
buddy.
For the rest of this season, if they were both fit and firing, would you rather have, on the left wing for Man United, Neymar or Rashford?
At this point in their career, Rashford.
Neymar's 32. He's not even
But he's
that old.
playing in the Saudi league though.
Yeah, but he's only played there for like 3 games before he got injured, so it doesn't count.
So how the hell
Yeah,
can
so
you
if he
put him
can't-
in the top
If
10?
he can't remain fit in the Saudi league, with all due respect, he shouldn't.
The math ain't mathing on that one, bud.
Let's go on to number 10. Simon, who have you got?
Gordon. I put Gordon as number 10, just to round
I think
things
it's
off.
quite low for the boy.
I think my list is superior.
The thing is, as well, I've actually said on previous episodes, I really don't like Gordon's attitude, etc. I think that he thinks he's better than he is, but he is quite good this season.
Give shit for Rashford about his attitude as well. Oh my god, the fucking holes in his argument, Alf.
No.
I've got Jeremy Doku in mind.
Doku's top 10.
I think
He's
he
good.
sneaks,
Yeah.
he sneaks in for me. I think it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, he's not been around for the whole. I mean, obviously, I didn't watch him last year. So yeah, I think he
He's
sneaks
good-
in the
he's a
top
good
10.
player.
I'd need to see more from him for him to kind of like definitely go higher. He's
No,
not-
he looks good. Let's watch this Liverpool penalty before I give my number 10. Is that McAllister taking it?
McAllister, yeah.
McAllister for Liverpool against
Come on.
Edison. Is he going to bag?
Come on, lad.
Yes!
Wow.
Bastard.
Great penalty, really, to say,
I thought he'd saved that.
yeah, Edison went the right way and still didn't manage to get onto it. That's a fantastic penalty from McAllister. And it's 1-1. Simon, how are you feeling?
Yeah, all right. No, we needed that. We needed an early goal, to be honest. Just the
expecting-
longer it went on, the crowd would have got
Biggest
really
game of
frustrated.
season. Not many limbs here.
Just starts throwing cameras about.
I mean, I would.
Oh.
Experience, football experience. That's what it is.
They even get out your seat.
Long way to go. Long way to go, sunshine.
Yeah, to be fair, that did just make it 1-1 after being
Yeah.
pretty poor for the whole
If that
game.
was the last minute.
I mean, you'd still go mental, but you'd go
course.
mental if Rashford won a free kick. Anyway, I'm going to give my number 10, and then I think we should just do a quick recap of the lists for short purposes. My number 10 is Somerville.
What, Jimmy Somerville, the singer? Goodness me. You know when you thought to yourself, hey, I might start a football podcast?
I'm done. Cut the tape. I'm going on. This is fucking nonsense. Kid's got Anthony Gordon 4th best in the world and Somerville 10th. fucking take your head for a shit.
Somerville this year has been absolutely unbelievable. I truly believe if Somerville was in that Man United team or the Liverpool team, he'd have better output than Diaz or Rashford. I'm laughing, but I actually fully believe that. Josh looks like he's going to die.
You know when you decided to do a football podcast, were you like pissed out of your brain?
I don't think that's a bad shout.
Yeah, you wouldn't. That's the problem.
Somerville has been the best left winger in one of the top 10 leagues in the world this season. So I don't know how you can really debate it.
Championship is probably one of the most competitive leagues, but it's not the best.
It's in the top 10 leagues in the world. Top 10.
Quality?
Yeah.
If it is.
Well.
Think about it. You can't name 10 leagues better.
Yes, well.
Not top 5, obviously, but top 10. But yeah, Somerville. Somerville.
You're
is
not on
number
about
10.
the singer. You're not on about the singer.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do you know that, John? You know this? Oh yeah.
Josh, have you got any questions?
Why are you doing a podcast?
I don't think it's that bad a take. I don't even feel hurt by this one. I think it's pretty decent. Somerville, to me, is right now one of the top 10 best left wingers in the world.
In Leeds, yes.
No, in the world.
Yeah.
I nearly put Kazea in over him at Juventus, but I think Somerville takes the edge.
Honestly, give your dealer a big shout out because whatever you've smoked before you made that list is fucking power.
Go on. Ooh.
Oh, I really don't think it's a bad list, and I'll read it from top to bottom right now for you, and then you guys can do the same. My top 10 left wingers / left mids in the world right now. First, Vinicius Jr. Second, Rafael Leao. Third, Son. Fourth, Gordon. Fifth, Martinelli. Sixth, Josh, I don't know how to say this name. Say it for me. Kvaratskhelia. Seventh is Jota. Eighth, Nico Williams. Ninth is Neymar. And 10th is Somerville. I think that's actually a quality list. I'm not hearing it.
I think that is fucking dreadful.
Simon, what's yours?
So
top 10 left wingers in the world.
Left wingers in the world right now. Mbappe, number 1. Vinicius Jr., number 2. Foden, number 3. Grimaldo, number 4. Martinelli, number 5. Musiala, number 6. Son, number 7. Luis Diaz, 8. DiMarco, number 9. And Gordon, 10.
I
respect decent. It. Josh?
Oh, God. I just...
I killed him.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. I've got Mbappe 1, Vinny 2, Foden 3, Leao 4, Son 5, Diaz 6, Rashford 7, Martinelli 8, Sane 9, Doku 10.
And I also just want to point out, I feel like I might get cooked for this list, but I didn't count Mbappe or Foden as left wingers while creating this list. That's why they're not in there. And if they were, Somerville wouldn't have been in the top 10. But without those additions, I think.
So you think, Somerville is better than Cody Gakpo?
Gakpo's not a left winger, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Well, again, he's one of those who can play across the front. So.
And to be honest, yeah.
So
I actually would say that because I think
probably, to be honest, Gakpo's not playing that well
Gakpo's
right now.
a bad example. He's not done that well.
My reasoning is that when Louis van Gaal is picking the Netherlands squad,
I think Somerville will get in the next Netherlands squad after the season he's had this year.
He starts Gakpo.
Yeah, but I'm saying Somerville's still young, and it's the first season he's ever really had actually starting every game, and he's had 20 goals and assists in the Championship, which is a very good and competitive league.
Play more games.
Still.
It's just, I don't know. Somerville, I can't believe it.
I genuinely don't think it's that bad a shout.
It is fucking horrendous.
I'm saying it again.
He's a great player. He's very good. He is not top 10 in the world.
I think he is. Right now, I'd take Somerville over Rashford.
I'm sure you fucking
genuinely would.
So you think he's better than Jack Grealish? You think he's better than Jeremy Doku?
Jack Grealish didn't even start, mate.
He's at the best team in the world.
Yeah, but how can
Somerville wouldn't even be on the fucking under-21s at City.
I can't include a player that doesn't play.
But Neymar's in there.
Yeah, but that's just because he's injured. It's a bit different.
But he's not playing. He's not even got a team.
It's because he's injured, bro. It's
Kid's not getting paid.
It's because he's not got paid enough to get out of that contract, I bet.
Kid's not got a fucking paycheck and he's still in this. Oh, can't include a player that doesn't play.
Yeah, but he's one of the GOATs. He's a legend of the game, and he's still only 32. I think whatever team he went to, if he was fit, he'd do unbelievable. Genuinely, I think he could go anywhere still. At his age, if he was fit, he'd still smash it. Bit different to Benzema, who's fucking 38.
At least he's fucking playing week in, week out.
Yeah, only because he's not broke something.
Which has been an issue for Neymar his entire career, but...
Yeah, but that's why he's so underrated, because he's still been one of the best goal scorers and best assisters, most skillful players on the ball, whether it's for club or country, throughout his whole career. Just because he's injured now doesn't mean I'm going to forget about that when he's not even old. It's not even like he should be losing it.
Oh, but you forgot about fucking Benzema winning the Ballon d'Or because he went to the Saudi League.
Yeah, but he's old,
There's
isn't it?
so many holes in your argument.
Nah, and Benzema wasn't playing for France, doing well internationally.
Bastard.
It's different. It's different.
Was that a silver foul?
Yeah, although he did get twatted by McAllister just before, so it's a retaliation.
Absolutely crazy. I actually cannot believe what I've heard here.
Oh,
City are through. Oh, that was a poor ball. He just had to simple pass to Haaland there.
That does not sit right with me.
what a
That
save.
doesn't sit right with me whatsoever.
I honestly, to be honest, I don't even like. There's no way you can really change my mind. I think that my list is pretty good, and I think
The Leeds United bias.
I'm
fucking
quite surprised at how low you guys had Gordon and Son, especially Son for you.
Gordon
Simon.
wasn't on my list.
Gordon wasn't in your list.
No.
You see, this is what I mean, though. You can laugh at Somerville, but when you've got Rashford in your list and you don't have Gordon, who's having a better season at a worse team, then
He's not a top 10 left winger in the world for me. Rashford is.
I don't get the Rashford argument, man. I don't get it.
Okay,
He's
then.
good one of every 2 seasons.
Right. Gordon's had 3/4 of a good season.
Come on.
Liverpool on the attack here.
Come on, square it. Inside. Oh, go on.
Diaz, really poor touch from Diaz there. A great pass from Nunes as well.
No, it's the other way around, wasn't it?
No, it was Nunes to Diaz.
That's Nunes running forward there.
Yeah, I said it's a great pass
yeah.
from Nunes, but a poor touch from Diaz.
Oh.
If he'd have left it as well, it could have gone straight through to Elliott. This game is really livening
We've
up
got
now,
we've got
though.
them rattled now that we need to score
Getting
another
booked,
now. City have had loads of bookings now as well.
Bernardo.
Edison's gone off, hasn't he, because he got injured.
You need to win now.
That's what I mean. We need to because City are going to come out in about 20 minutes and have another great chance on this, so we need to score.
Yeah, I'd be just whacking shots from edge at box, me.
Who's there?
Stefan Ortega. Still a good player.
Salah coming on for Liverpool. It's the 60th minute.
So is Robbo.
Edison's off injured. This is where Liverpool need to pounce in
we
it.
need to do it. Oh, bloody hell.
Do you know a player that I don't know much about, right? And I don't know how often he starts for Liverpool is Tsimikas. Is he actually any good?
To be honest, he's not as good as Robertson, but he's got a better delivery than Robertson. Corner set pieces, he's really good. Like he did the free kick at the corner for Van Dijk in the cup final.
He's serviceable. You wouldn't have him as your starting left back as a title contending side, but in periods where a Robertson's injured,
he's okay for a couple games.
Perfect as your backup. Perfect as your backup left back.
Yeah, I just never see too much from him.
No, he's decent. If I could see him playing, all the time, he's like an Aston Villa type kind of player.
Yeah.
Go on, shoot.
Oh, horrible shot.
Although he always looks like he's got a cold. He always looks like he's got the flu.
Always looks like he can't breathe.
Tired.
Yeah.
He looks tired.
Another thing I wanted to mention, a big bit of news.
That was corner, that.
Apparently not. A big bit of news in the football world this week is Paul Pogba has been banned for
4 years.
4 years for using illegal substances. Looks like some kind of performance enhancers or steroids, something along those lines. Josh, obviously Pogba was at United for a long time. Do you think he's one of the players that had the biggest wasted potential in recent times in football? Because I remember when he got that big money move to United, he'd done unbelievable at Juventus. There was so much excitement around Pogba and what he was going to do. What happened?
I think it was it was more United than Pogba, I think we signed him, spent a load of money on him, and then obviously there was a bit of a conveyor belt of managers coming through, and there just wasn't the team around him to kind of... The thing with Pogba is he had the qualities to be one of the best in the world, potentially one of the best ever, but he wasn't he didn't have the ability to take games over. He needed the team around him in order to be able to do that, which he had at Juventus. You know, when you've got Pirlo in the midfield with you and other such players, Mascherano, for example. But, you know, United just didn't put any quality around him. I mean, you think, you know, he was playing
Matic,
Fred, Scott McTominay. It was only until like his last couple of years where you kind of go, that actually we had the quality there with him, with Bruno Fernandes. You know, then you've got... I always thought we should have had a midfield three of Pogba, Fernandes and Donny van der Beek. Obviously, it was never very defensive, but I just thought, fuck it, why not try it? You've signed these players, why not build a midfield? But it never happened. So I think that was a big problem. But again, it was an attitude thing with him as well, where you could tell that he knew he was fucking unreal. So he only really kind of showed up for the big games.
Yeah, like it didn't happen much. Diaz is through here.
Chip him. Oh, you donkey.
Diaz has missed it. An unbelievable chance for Liverpool. Yeah. And it was only about 10 minutes after me saying he's mad overrated.
That's what I mean. He just needed to dink that then.
You've got to score that. When you get put through like that against Manchester City.
Oh.
On as well.
Just dink it.
Yeah, Luis Diaz has simply got to score that there. Especially against the keeper that's just come on.
Yeah. Oh, is that the chance? Oh, is that the chance?
I think that might be the one that they look back at. Klopp looked like he'd scored. He got that excited. I mean, to be fair, this half Liverpool have really been on the front foot. That's the second chance Diaz has scuffed though, because if you think about the last one, it obviously a touch from him that put it straight into the keeper's hands. But yeah, it's strange with me for Pogba because whenever I seen him play, he looked like he had the quality, but just not the final touch. And then obviously he was in and around the France team a lot of the time as well. He was even starting for France a lot of the time. And you thought, well, he's clearly got so much about him.
Go on, first time. Oh, you idiot, first time.
Diaz misses another one-on-one. Luis Diaz has had 3 one-on-ones in the last 10 minutes.
I don't think he's missed that. I think Walker got back there.
Well, I thought it was a Diaz touch that took it out, though. Look, he gets one touch, and then his other leg kicks. Oh, is it Walker?
First time. Should have hit it first time.
Yeah, that's good defending from Walker.
That's the problem with playing left wing against City, is that you just don't have that kind of time with Walker.
Yeah.
Like you say, should have just shot first time.
Yeah.
It's a Liverpool corner, though. Really dominating here. Pretty poor corner. But it goes for another. Ooh! See, I'm on the page of I would much prefer Liverpool to win this game just because I don't want City to keep winning it and for the Premier League to become the French league, effectively.
Yeah. You mean the Bundesliga?
Well, yeah, that as well. But at least the Bundesliga is close a lot of the time.
Or Leverkusen.
Yeah, but they've won it 11 years in a row. There's more winners of the French league.
Yeah, well, either way. Liverpool corner. Oh, goes over everyone.
Oh.
Salah. Oh. Bloody hell. A lot of good chances, one after the other here.
This is a problem. You need to score in the next 5 minutes, otherwise, you know, City are going to get their noses up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this can't last forever, can it? Did you see the new Champions League format?
I did.
Yeah.
So it's effectively now, for all European competitions actually, not just the Champions League, it's going to be more of a league-style format. They have said that it is, however, still going to be based on... Oh, a great save there. It is still going to be based on merit, so teams won't just automatically qualify for it, which I think we would all vote for. And the reaction to it I've seen online has been a bit 50-50, but I wonder how you feel about the new format.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it needed a shake-up, to be honest. I think the group stages now are just a bit stale and a bit predictable. So I think a group, like a league setting, I suppose it makes it more interesting. So the format is so you have to fight for every point. You can't just win your first 5 and then you're home and dry. I think you have to, because what is it? It's like 16 games you play or something like that, or is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. I don't know it completely, but I think the format is where every game you have to compete for. You can't just like sack off the last 3 or something like that. So I just think it just needed changing up a bit, to be honest. So,
well, I think that the current setup it had got really boring. The group stage just meant nothing because you'd always have a couple of groups where the big teams would win a few games and then rest half the good players. And it's like, well, who's really interested in those games anymore? Yeah. Josh, how do you feel? Obviously, maybe it's more the Europa League setup that you're interested in, but how do you feel about it?
I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a money grab.
Yeah, because there's more games now, so there's more money.
More games, and also it allows them to set up more big games. So you can have a Liverpool Real Madrid, and both teams will still potentially progress.
True.
So it allows them to set up more big games, which sells more. Brings in more money, and it keeps the big teams in the competition. Say for example, you get next round City playing, I don't know, Madrid. One of those teams is going out. You're not going to see it. So say Madrid go out next round. Madrid fans probably won't watch the Champions League again until the final.
Yeah.
Whereas you get to have, they can set up those big games and still keep the big teams in the competitions. I don't know. I think, like I say, it needed a change, but again, I think
it'd be interesting to see more money, and I think that's what it's all about.
It'll be interesting to see how they work it, because rugby do a similar thing. So rugby they kind of have both. So they have groups, but then all the teams are in a big league. So you have a group where you'll only play those teams, but then you're in a big league.
The league that still counts towards it.
So you could win your group, but still not go through.
Right, yeah.
Because in the league, standings, you're not high enough.
Okay.
Which I think works quite well.
Because there's like pots, isn't there? So like there's
so there's three pots.
So each team plays someone twice, or two teams from pot one, then pot two. So each team plays. Yeah,
you should be playing teams of every level effectively.
Yeah. And you play like home and away, so we could get Madrid away and then play Bayern Munich at home, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it makes it really interesting, personally.
It does, but
I am very bored of the current Champions League setup.
I just think it's too many games. I mean, you look at this.
Yeah, you wonder where they're going to fit them in.
You look at this season, and you go, "Fucking hell." United have had 47 different injury issues. Yeah, Newcastle have had a shitload of injuries. Liverpool are going through a bit of an injury crisis. City were without KDB and Haaland for a while. Chelsea have had a load of injuries. Tottenham had Maddison and Son out. So Arsenal have had a few injuries, but probably the top team that have had the least.
Yeah, but they have been in the Champions League this year as well.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that, you've got all of these teams that are suffering with injuries to big players. KDB and Haaland being out is massive for City.
Oh, yeah.
Liverpool were without Salah for a little bit. We've been without a few, marquees. We signed Mason Mount in the summer for 60 mil, and he's barely played because he's been injured. Højlund, 70 mil, he's out again. So you kind of go, well, fucking hell.
More games on top of that.
More games on top of what
money,
we've
isn't
already
it?
got.
Money.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're going to get to a point where there's going to be nearly 100 games in a season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not far off, yeah.
If you're somebody like City, where you'd expect to get to finals of cups, you're going to be playing a shitload of games.
So what do you think you can do to address that problem, though? That's the question. Is there a suggestion? Do you think
sack off international football, get rid of that? Get rid of those friendlies.
God. Yeah, no, the friendlies are
I actually do. I think that is. I also think get rid of that other random tournament they created. League. Yeah, Nations League means nothing.
I think the only time you should really have friendlies is like now, when you're leading up to an international tournament and you need those friendlies.
Yeah.
Because you need the squad together playing games. That's when I agree with it. But say like next year, when there's no Euros, no World Cup, we'll still have 3 or 4 international breaks.
Yeah, but then the argument goes back to, like you were saying earlier, you feel like there's a better vibe and chemistry around England. With less friendlies, that'll disappear.
Yeah, but when you've got the Nations League anyway, that's
true.
what. Like, I know the Nations League is glorified friendlies, but when you've got the Nations League, you kind of go, right, okay, well, there's that. Why do you need to go and play?
I always look at it in an interesting way. Do you think in 30 years it'll still be seen as glorified friendlies?
What, the Nations League?
Yeah. Do you think it'll always have that, or kids who are getting into football now will probably see it as another competition?
I think as it goes on, the years go by, I think it'll get more prestige, I think.
I don't know, because I think the reason why I see it like that is not because it's replaced the friendlies, but because the players themselves see it that way.
Yeah, true.
So that, like, KDB's come out and said a lot of stuff about the Nations League, and players themselves, like, you can tell when you watch it, the players can't be arsed. They treat the games like friendlies. So I think
you're going to see it in that manner.
When you watch the players half-arsing or not really that interested, you're kind of
going to... Go on! Oh, what a save. Great save there. Nunes with a chance this time that doesn't go in.
Well, so I don't know. I don't know how you combat it really. I mean, my standpoint on it, and it's probably a bit of a big six bias standpoint, but you need to have a look at FFP. The only way you can really get around that is by allowing teams to spend more money to build bigger squads. But then, obviously, works for everyone, but then it just allows the big six to go and spend more money, or Real Madrid or Barcelona. So it does, obviously, it benefits the big six, but then it benefits everybody as well. I think they're going to have to look at FFP. You look at Forest and Leicester. Leicester getting hit by it. So next year they're going to get a points deduction.
Also, I want to say that's fucking ridiculous because we went down. If they'd have got the points deduction last year, we wouldn't have gone down. And if they'd have got it this year, we'd definitely go up. But they're just going to get it next year instead when they're already back up.
If they get promoted, they'll
get deducted points.
So they broke Premier League FFP rules. That's why they won't get charged this year because they're not playing in the Premier League.
But why didn't they get charged in the year they broke the rules and made other teams get relegated? And I think this is going to be such a repetitive issue across football now.
Yeah, because the thing is with like all of this, it's always a year behind. So Everton and Forest have been done for last year. Yeah. Not for this year.
It takes so long, doesn't it, to get it all up to speed and everything?
Because if you think they've got to go through, everybody's financial reports, it's not a, fucking 3-week job. It's a big job. So I think that's the only way that you combat kind of a ridiculous amount of games is that you allow teams to spend more money to build deeper squads with more quality.
How much time do footballers get off a year?
They probably get in the summer after tournaments and stuff. We're looking at
you get your summer
4 weeks.
Or is it only 4 weeks?
Probably not even that. Christ, I missed that. What happened then?
Fucking hell.
Foden just hit the crossbar, I believe.
No. It was
Or was it not?
It would have been a fucking mad one. Yeah. Kelleher came out to punch the cross.
Did he close him down or something?
No, he punched the cross. It hit Foden and rattled off the bar. So he's punched the cross straight onto Foden's head.
Man. That's nuts.
Why is he punching that already though?
Or his hand, that would have been ruled out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really tough one because we all want to see a lot of football as well. And I know you suggested before, Josh, about maybe not like seeding some of the big teams in cup competitions, like the FA Cup and League Cup, so that they don't come in even later till like the quarters or whatever.
Salah's down.
But I don't know. I think the problem is then no other team ever has the option of practically becoming one of those big clubs. If that makes sense. Like you can't become a big club if the big clubs are already given that title and they're in that space of...
I don't know. I think you never know with club games. Cup games is things, things change. Things can happen. You can beat a team. Anybody can show up. Look at the FA Cup I'm saying a few years ago when Wigan beat City.
Oh yeah, that's mental.
Things can happen. Obviously, it's a bit different in the Champions League because you play 2 games in the knockouts. So, you could have, I don't know, Sheriff, for example, beat Real Madrid in the first round in the knockout games.
Sheriff is such a rogue shout, by the way.
I'm just thinking...
I know what you mean, but...
So, say they win 1-0 against Madrid in the first round of the knockouts, but then the second game, Madrid go and win 6-0. It's 6-1 in aggregate, so it doesn't really matter. But, with cup games, you never really know.
Yeah, that's what's good about it, isn't it? That's why we love cup games.
That's why everyone kind of talks about the magic of the FA Cup is that you never know who's going to win. And
it is true. It makes a massive difference. And I think it's hugely important for those clubs to be able to get a bit of revenue as well.
Massive, yeah. That's why I don't like... it's good, obviously, because I guess there's less games. But I did disagree with taking away the replays.
Yeah. Because it means that if they get drawn away, then they're not really going to see the benefit.
They do it in the rounds 3 and 4, don't they? But after the 5th round, it stops.
Yeah.
The replays.
Well, it's such a catch-22 because there's been... This year when we got knocked out, Leeds obviously lost to Chelsea. I was, in a weird way, quite happy. I always want to win, and I would have been happier if we won. But I was also like, well, it means we don't have to play any more games in the Cup. We actually didn't perform badly. Like, realistically, we were the better team for the majority of that game. So it didn't knock the confidence of the players. I was like, it's a good excuse to leave and not have to worry about it anymore. But I would much prefer to have won because a good Cup run would be nice.
I know a few Leeds fans that said the same. I think that's a weird mentality.
Well, I'd prefer to have won, but I can see the benefits of not being in it anymore when we're chasing promotion. I don't think that's weird.
It's like
maybe not what I work with somebody who said that he wanted Leeds to lose.
No, that's odd. You want to win every game. Especially when...
Like, his argument was, well, I'd rather focus on the league and secure promotion and this, that and the other. But I was like, but surely you want to win.
Now, for me, I'm a big fan of... I want some silverware. I want to see my club actually win something, whether it be an FA Cup or whatever. Obviously, the Championship's a massive thing to win as well. But I want to see us win one. If I could go down and watch Leeds play at Wembley, I've not done that since I was about 6. So that'd be a great experience.
Might be able to this year if you don't get your ideas together.
Nah, no playoffs. We're doing it now. We've won 11 out of 12 this year.
What are you behind Leicester now? Like
we're
4 points?
We're 3 points behind Leicester, and I think we're 1 above Ipswich.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe they lost yesterday. That's mad.
Yeah. To be fair, it's about time. The Championship this year has been absolutely incredible, though. I just want to say that, in general... As a neutral, it must be so entertaining.
Competitively, it's one of the best in the world. Definitely, it's brilliant.
Like Leeds and Ipswich have just been winning, and then Leicester have dropped off in the last few games. Southampton have been a little bit iffy for the last couple of games as well. But
26 matches, didn't they?
Southampton went 26 matches unbeaten, then lost a couple. Leicester lost 3 after been looking like they were going to get one of the best Championship tallies of all time. They lost 3 in a row. So now Leeds look like they could win the league again. I think the Championship is such an elite level league. And it produces amazing players all the time as well. And is currently hosting one of the top 10 left wingers in the world. Don't worry, mate. I didn't put Bamford in my strikers list.
I'm surprised.
No, I appreciate he's not actually that good most of the time. No, I love him. To be fair, Bamford this year has been doing
fully
bits.
fit now, is he?
Yeah.
Is he starting games?
Yeah, I think he scored 7 in 8 games this season, this year in 2024.
He doesn't start much, but he comes on.
Now?
I don't know, from the games that I've seen, I mean, I don't watch you week in, week out.
He started the last 4 or 5 games. He's just been coming back from injury. But again, that's the problem with Bamford. He's just constantly injured, so you know that it's going to be a few games away till you have to rely on someone else again.
Oh. I need a Kwanzaa yellow card and a Haaland goal for 170 quid.
You've always got a cheeky bet on you. It's always the most random things as well.
I like a tipple.
A little tipple.
It was a free bet anyway.
They won today, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Brighton. Because it seems like maybe their bubble has burst a little bit. Obviously, they beat Forest 1-0 today. You would anticipate that result. That's not like a shocker. But in recent times, Brighton haven't done so well. They got peppered by Roma in the Europa League a few games ago. And there's been a few results that haven't gone their way where you'd expect them to do a little bit better. Do you think that it's maybe just a natural evening out? Or
I think playing in Europe has stretched them a lot. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Think, I don't know what their injury situation is, but I just think going Thursday, Sunday. That's a lot for a club that's not done that before. Is it their first time in Europe? Isn't it? I presume, isn't it? Yeah. So I just think that is hard to adjust to.
And then
Salah puts the ball in. Oh.
And then January they were also without Matoma and the Dingo.
Yeah, he's injured now, isn't he? I think Matoma.
Yeah. And he is one of their better.
So he was
players.
injured, and then he got fit, and then he went to the Asian Cup. Adingra, who's one of their better wingers, has gone. Went to AFCON.
Go on!
I think Solly March is injured. So
Right. So
they've had injuries.
They've had that. We're in Europe. It's a tough time. I just think last season, and even at the start of this season.
Plus, you got to think as well. You look at last season's squad, and 2 of their best players were bought in Caicedo and McAllister.
Yeah, I think it's tough because obviously McAllister's...
They're sat in 8th position now, so...
Yeah, that's not too bad. And McAllister's done quite well at Liverpool, but when you look at Caicedo at Chelsea, you kind of go, well, they actually did an unbelievable bit of business there.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, they only got 35 from McAllister because of his release clause. So you kind of go, you're a bit annoyed with that one because they could have easily got probably 50 million for him.
Come on, who's in the box? Get in there.
Paul Cross.
I must admit, Liverpool this half have been
brilliant.
Really,
Absolutely
really
brilliant.
Much better than I expected, actually.
It's weird that like this season, first half we've never really played that well in many of the games, but second half we've always come out absolutely flying.
Yeah, some teams are like that. It just takes a minute for a lot of the players to get going, really, doesn't it? City on the attack here, though. Doku's got it on the wing. 3-on-3 in the box. Not anymore.
Come on.
It's just counter-attack on counter-attack right now in this game.
Go on, lad. Go on.
Luis Diaz has done really well there.
Square it. Come on. Let him go, man.
Diaz did unbelievable.
Wow.
Beat Walker 3 times and won a corner.
That's what he's really good at. That sort of stuff. He's like a street fighter when he does that. It's like Suarez.
I ain't never seen Somerville do that.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Gordon do that.
Never seen Rashford do that.
That's why I've got him above Rashford.
I didn't even have to say out.
I've got him above Rashford.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I had Diaz 6, Rashford 7.
Anyway, Somerville's not playing in the Premier League, is he? So
if he was that good, somebody would have signed him.
it's his first season starting, mate, and he's had 20 goals and assists. So. Maybe after a couple. Someone's going to sign him for about 50 million somewhere anyway, and you know it.
I remember him scoring winner here last time he played.
Oh yeah, Somerville scored the goal that broke Liverpool's winning record at Anfield.
Yeah.
So
Rashford scored a winner against Liverpool as well.
Rashford shit. He is though. Rashford is dead.
He's not dead.
He actually is. I'm not hearing it. I don't get it. It's more baffling to me that Rashford is in your list than that Somerville's in mine.
They're both wild shouts.
Simon's had enough. Simon's just trying to keep it calm. But you got to be happy with this game so far.
Yeah, well, second half definitely, yeah. But
I mean, even first half, I know it wasn't a great performance,
we had
but
10-minute spell. But second half we've been brilliant. So if we don't score,
it'll feel like an opportunity lost.
Yeah, 100%. It was the same against Arsenal and against United at Anfield as well. We've not won any of those games, which is a bit worrying.
What do you think of Arsenal recently? Are they in with a big shout of getting the league now?
Yeah,
well, they're top now if they stay like this.
Yeah. Oh.
Why did he leave that?
Got to go out.
Oh.
Handball.
For a guy that's never scored senior football, he shoots.
To be honest, the crowd when at Anfield they always say shoot like that, and it's so annoying.
Just pointless.
I just need to stop doing it.
Every time I watch Liverpool, I see Joe Gomez have at least one crack from outside the box. So I'm just thinking, for a bloke that's never scored,
has he never scored?
Not for Liverpool.
Not in his senior footballing career.
Damn,
like over 200 games now.
You think, bloody hell?
Go on,
McAllister.
Corner.
Bloody hell.
McAllister looks like a kid that's throwing a fit a lot of the time.
I'm surprised how young he is.
What is he, like 23?
Yeah. I thought he was a lot older.
To be honest, I didn't think he'd be this good. I mean, to me, obviously we played him in the 6 for the first part, and then since he's been in the 8, he's been our best player in the last 6 weeks.
Well, to be fair, I did a video at the start of the year on Brighton and how good they are, and the signings they'd made and the people that had left, etc. He's done well everywhere he's played. He's always been great. He's never been in people's top 10 lists.
Goes under the radar.
Yeah, he just kind of floats around it as well. And I think it's also at Brighton, it was a case of he was on penalties a lot of the time, so people kind of put that label on him. But he looks like a really good player for Liverpool so far, and especially for 35 million.
Insane.
You very rarely get a player of that quality at this price. Oh, Manchester City, Arsenal. A couple of weeks. I'll have to try to do that one. That's a big one. But yeah, Arsenal. Do you think that they're favourites for the league right now or not?
No, I think because they've still got to go to City, haven't they? I think.
Yeah, but the form that they're on against the lower level teams is unbelievable. Yeah. Even in comparison to City and Liverpool, they're
flying.
Peppered West Ham, peppered Sheffield United. I know you'd expect the Sheffield United one, but they win yesterday.
Yeah, no, they drew.
Drew.
Late equaliser from.
Thing with Arsenal, they've not had. I know they've got. Is it Timber who's out? But they've not had any major other injuries, have they?
Jesus has been injured a lot of the season.
Yeah, but as well. But they've got a really settled side at the moment.
Yeah, more than anybody else in the league. Top 6. They've had
don't foul him.
A very consistent starting 11. And the thing, even though they lost Timber, they lost him very early. So actually, they've been able to play a lot of their games with the same team.
Just a settled team they've got, which always helps. Oh, get up, you bastard!
But I just think City, for me, are probably favourites just because they're City. And then Liverpool have been there and done that. And even when they've not done it, they've been close. You think about, what was it?
It was 100 points, wasn't it? And still didn't win it.
Yeah, and then they had that.
97 it was.
Yeah. Oh, was it 97?
Was it? It wasn't the year before when they almost did the quad.
Got 92 then.
So, even when they've not won it, they've been right there with City. It's come down to the last day a couple of times. and it's not even necessarily because Liverpool have lost. It's just been that City have won. You think about that Gundogan fucking late winner from 2-0 down. So you go, well, I think when you've got those two teams there, I think they'll always be favoured over Arsenal, who haven't actually done it. And realistically, it's only their second season of
been at that level, top.
Like a very good team. So
I hope Arsenal win it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, from a Liverpool point of view, it's quite good having another team alongside us fighting with City.
Because it's like when you see Arsenal are playing City, you think, all right, this is they could actually win this. There's a big opportunity.
I think it's like FA Cup next week and then it's international. So I think if we play Brighton before the City and Arsenal playing, obviously if we beat Brighton, we'll go top. And then if that's a draw, City Arsenal, then we'll be top by 2 points or something like that. So it's good to have another team fighting the title, to be honest.
Yeah. And for some reason, this is what I mean about when Arsenal are peppering the lower level teams. I envisage Arsenal beating a mid-table team more than I envisaged City doing it for some reason. And Liverpool right now. Liverpool more so because of the injuries, but City, I don't know. I think they're fantastic still, and I just think they've not been stand out in comparison to other seasons.
There is something about City this year where they just I know they just dicked us 3-1, but there's just something like even in that 3-1, I think they looked good because we made them look good. Like we were just off.
They've not had a statement win yet.
Whereas I think if we'd have gone for it, I think Ten Hag was so scared to get beaten 6-2 again. He just set up to be like, right, fuck it, we're going defensive, and if we can sneak a goal like we did, then happy days.
Go on.
But actually, if you watch the game, even though they battered us in the first half, we should have actually gone into half time 2-0 up.
Yeah.
There was a few other chances that you think, could have bagged that. So I don't know. I just think that they don't look like the City of old this year. And I feel like Haaland looks a little bit off compared to last year. I know he's still scoring and everything.
Yeah, and you'll get the comments saying, "Oh well, yeah, but he's still like top scorer."
He's still top scorer, and he's going to end the season top scorer. But like, he's been irrelevant today. I know there's a couple of minutes left, and he could end up scoring the winner. But he's been completely irrelevant today. I know he scored against United, scored against United, but again, he was pretty irrelevant, bar that absolute howler of a miss. So.
City on the edge of the box here in the 88th minute. It's Doku. It comes off the post back into Kelleher's hands.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
This is what I mean at the start of the season. I just feel like everything's going Liverpool's way. If that was, I know. If that was at United,
Diaz against Tottenham.
Salah in the box.
Go on.
I love it when the TV channels just decide not to show you what's actually happening.
Ridiculous.
It's the 89th minute nearly. I don't think there'll be two.
No, there will be because there's a couple of injuries, won't we, with Edison and stuff. So I reckon there'll be at least 5.
I think 5 is about right, to be honest. You're begging for more with how well this performance is going so far. Although I could just see, that's the problem when you're playing City. When they've got Foden, Haaland up top, you just know that one chance is it. He should have really put that across.
I think he just didn't know. Caught in 2 minds then.
Quite unlucky there, Doku. Would you be happy? I mean, I'm guessing you would, given how well he's doing currently, Simon. But with Alonso as the next Liverpool manager, because it looks like at the minute Bayern Munich and Liverpool are really battling for him.
I think, out of all the names that have been bandied about, I think he's probably the best of the bunch and the more natural fit as well, obviously, given that he's played for us and stuff like that.
I've seen a lot of people say, though, that it's a completely different playing style to Klopp.
Yeah, no, it is.
So it'd mark...
Well, that's the thing. I think, in a way, that could work for us because whoever came in, they can't try and be like Klopp because you can't really, can you? Klopp's his own man, so to speak. So I think Alonso seems to have the strong personality. He's quite quiet, just gets on with the job kind of thing. And he's confident in his own coaching abilities and stuff. So I think he'd be brilliant. Whether, I don't think we'd probably win the league or anything like that, but I just think it just fits
But I don't. Why do you not have that thought that you might win the league if he was to come in? Because obviously, look at what he's doing right now with a worse squad, less budget.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
I think it'd take time. That's the issue because he plays a completely different style of football.
The thing is that his squad now, whether it's as good as Liverpool or not, it's his squad, and he's got the players that fit his playing style. Yeah. If he comes in, are Trent and Robbo good enough to play wing backs instead? Are they going to play wing back instead of full backs? Do you have 3 solid centre backs that you can have as a back 3? Yeah. Is the midfield set up to, so he's going to come in and he's going to probably have to let a few players go. He doesn't play with wingers. So what do you do with Diaz? What do you do with Salah?
Plays more like City than Liverpool at the moment. That's more of his style, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that it could be a case of if he does come in and he's the choice that Liverpool end up going with, it'll mark a completely new chapter for the club. Whereas if they got a more Klopp-esque manager, they could probably keep a lot of the current players.
Like Tuchel or something like that.
But I think if they do go with Alonso, then, as you said, they'll have to get rid of some of those players.
I think that's the better way to. I mean, I know it's different because Fergie was at United for a lot longer than Klopp has been. But if you look at like United tried to do that, we got rid of Fergie and we brought in Moyes, who had a similar playing style, this, that, and the other, similar coaching, and it just didn't work because you're just trying to replace Fergie. Yeah. Whereas you just
with
go
a lesser version.
You just go right. That era's ended. Let's start a new one. And I know it was harder for us to bring somebody in because nobody wants to be the first manager to come in after Fergie. Similarly, nobody wanted to be the first manager to come in after Wenger. But if we'd have, got somebody of like Mourinho, say we'd gone from Fergie to Mourinho.
Yeah, that would have probably been a much better transition, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it's completely different. You're starting a brand new era. And
brilliant tackle.
This Liverpool squad is so much better than that United squad that when Fergie left. So, whoever gets the job is coming into whether they fit the style or not, it's a very good squad.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But I also think it's the perfect moment in a weird way for them to have a fresh start.
Yeah,
I think if Alonso was to come in, if I was him, I'd be selling Salah to Saudi for 150 mil and then being able to actually sign 3 or 4 top quality players that are really going to match my playing style. And obviously Salah's still amazing and Liverpool fans will hate to hear that, but he's getting old, he's getting on a bit. You need to refresh the squad, and if you're going to put a lot of trust into a new manager and system, I think that'd be the best way to do it.
Oh, you bloody hell.
He was offside.
Missed anyway.
Well, I wonder if he was offside because it looked pretty close. Was he definitely?
He went too early and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Salah was off.
No, yeah.
Well off.
I don't know. I don't understand why they don't just put the flag up straight away. Why do they delay it?
It's weird.
I'd never get
one or the other. Either put it up straight away or let it go out of play every time.
Because if you don't, there's a good 10 seconds, someone could get injured in that time. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Happened to John Stones, isn't it?
I mean, luckily there's been no mad VAR stuff this game, which is
a
positive.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed that.
Referee's done well, I think, actually.
There was a check on that corner goal, but apart from that, not much has happened, has it really? Which is only a positive because VAR can absolutely ruin games.
I know, yeah.
Especially this season in the Premier League. It's had a fucking nightmare many times, hasn't it? That's what I've quite liked. I won't miss the Championship because it's the Championship, and obviously I always want to play the biggest teams. But I do quite like the fact of in the Championship there's no VAR. The refereeing standards are probably worse, and I know that sometimes it leads to decisions that go against your team.
Fucking hell.
Man City there on the attack. Doku again. Doku's looked really good since
he's
he
just
came
so
on.
direct, isn't he?
Yeah. But I quite like the fact when my team scores, I can just have a quick glance at the ref, quick glance at the linesman or whatever, and actually celebrate. Yeah. Whereas if you're in the Premier League, it's a completely different.
It's horrible.
It's just annoying. You have to. Yeah. You might celebrate and then wait, and then it is or isn't a goal, and then the moment's taken away a little bit. And then I also think if there's a bunch of times that you're there and you're trying to enjoy that moment and it's taken away by VAR, it's going to get to the point where people don't even really celebrate. They'll see a goal go in and they'll go, all right, yeah, let's wait for this. Yeah, I was all for VAR at first, and I think it's fantastic in some situations, but I'm actually getting more and more annoyed with it every time I see it in practice.
Yeah. I agree with the theory of it, but it just doesn't work. However, what they've done with it is just Fucking dreadful. Yeah. It was brought in to remove human error, and it just seems to increase human error. I feel like there's more wrong decisions now than it ever has been in football.
Yeah. The humans using it are making errors. That's basically what it is, isn't it?
Exactly, and just more wasted time as well. It means the games last way longer.
And what baffles me is like they've had it in rugby for years, and it's the exact same setup where there's a referee watching the game, watching TMO, and he does it. Doesn't take as long, and 99% of the time they get it right.
Go on, first time. Oh, don't fucking hit it. Oh,
can I?
You should mind hit it first time. Oh,
yeah,
it's so annoying.
Liverpool have had another good opportunity there. I must admit, this really is starting to feel like 3 points dropped or 2 points dropped for Liverpool, because they've had about 5 one-on-ones this half.
Yeah.
And haven't managed to score any of them. Salah's really upset there, but it didn't look like a penalty to me at all.
Are they checking anything? Or he just needs
I
to
can't believe they ain't got a shot away here.
He needs to hit it first time.
Bang. Gakpo.
He's been off the boil since the new year.
Nah, there's no way that's a pen. Ball had already gone past him.
Yeah, it does. It's weird. It does feel like 2 points dropped if it ends like this.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like I think City were a better team in the first half, but we've clearly been the
second
better
half.
side.
You were the better team by a bigger distance as well in the second half, so it feels like a much better performance.
Yeah.
Maybe there's 50 seconds left. Could we see something here?
Oof. Oh, come on, that's the bounce.
Harvey Elliott on the wing.
Right, whoever gets it, just hit it first time.
Puts it in.
Corner.
It's a Liverpool corner.
Screams of Van Dijk.
There's 30 seconds left in what could be a title deciding game, and Liverpool have got a corner. If it's Van Dijk here,
it screams of it. It fucking screams of it.
Robertson picks it up. Looks like this will probably be the last thing that happens, unless there's a very quick counter-attack or something from City or a shot from the edge of the box. Liverpool corner.
Oh, he's let it bounce. Get out of the way, Cast.
Diaz.
Oh, yeah, I'll check
on the edge of the box.
They're checking a high foot.
Oh,
how the fuck's he?
Diaz. Salah, and it's another Liverpool corner. Looks like they're going to have time to take this, but I don't know if VAR is still checking the McAllister foul. It looked like he just sprinted into his foot, to be honest.
Are you ready to apologise to Diaz now?
Nah.
He's just absolutely...
No, he's done very well in the second half.
That's what he's good as.
He's done very well in the second half of this game, but... that could actually be a penalty.
That should be a penalty,
That's a high foot,
That is a penalty.
He's
Are they not
studs up to the chest?
That's a penalty.
I've seen Nani get sent off in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think that should be a penalty, to be honest.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, he didn't even kick the ball. His foot doesn't kick the ball.
They've just given a corner.
Oh, that's it. That's rough. That you can't stud someone in the chest and not be a penalty. We just said there's been no VAR bullshit this game.
So that's Tottenham. That's Arsenal handball, and now this.
Anyway, one last Liverpool corner.
Corners have been awful this game.
Full time.
Absolute joke.
Well, I mean, it was one goal from a penalty, but the second one you didn't get given. How do you feel overall, Simon?
To be honest, I probably would have taken this before the game, but as the game went on, disappointed. Should have won. Better team.
Completely agree. I think Liverpool should have won that, but it is what it is. Sometimes you don't get it. Josh, I was going to ask you something about United, but I don't even know you're playing next.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Liverpool?
FA Cup.
When's that?
Next Sunday.
Well, maybe I'll see you both then.
No.
Maybe not. I need to arrange it. But thanks for watching. Peace.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough that. Click the off next to on air. The off. Down at the bottom of the box. Oh my God. This happens every time. Right, there's a button at the bottom of on air. There's an off. Oh, I swear to God.
Hang on. On air.
Right, yeah. The last one you looked at.
The big one.
The off there.